Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for Below Grade Level. Try to have fun.
You can always count on me, and I can count on you. Good times, bad times in between, my friends will see me through. We'll be sharing wonderful times every day. All together singing our song, growing in every way. Say hello to your friends. Babysitters Club. Say hello to the people who care. Nothing's better.
Welcome to Below Grade Level, the show where we take the books that we read as children and read them as adults and ruin them. I'm one of your hosts, Jonathan Eaton, and with me, as always, are Bekah Eaton.
Hi.
And Chris Zaleski.
Hello.
It's like a little reunion because we used to do another podcast all together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Whatever happened to that?
It stopped. We ended it.
Yeah, but we generated enough content to make 2 other podcasts.
That's true. And honestly, I feel like a phoenix out of the ashes of our old show rose
Multiple
two better
phoenixes.
two phoenixes.
Several phoenixes.
2 better shows created out of the death of our old show.
The old show just didn't have a purpose.
No.
It didn't have a focus.
It
so
did
we
not.
found some things to focus on.
It was
Yeah.
a show
Now we're
about
good.
nothing.
That was the point. Oh boy.
These children's books are making me thirsty.
Way to bring it back to the focus of this show.
Oh, man.
Good at what I do.
You live and you learn.
So as a listener of this show, Below Grade Level, this will be the first episode that you are hearing that's not legacy
Repackaged.
repackaged content. What you have been listening to so far has been stuff that we recorded actually years ago, because on our old podcast we started reading Goosebumps. I've gone over this a million times. We started reading Goosebumps. We branched out into other things, but so far you've heard a couple of Goosebumps books, and then you heard, if you've been listening to everything, a Fear Street book, which was frankly fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I listened to that whole thing. I
I'll
didn't
have
listen
to
to any of the
listen to
Goosebumps.
it.
I didn't listen to
I
any of the
haven't listened to that
Goosebumps
one
that
either.
like I posted, but I listened to the whole Fear Street party games, and it's really good.
Well,
It's not. I mean, like, the book's not good.
You made a show that was all of the parts I would listen to, which is the sketches. So
Yeah.
it's like I don't even have to listen to anything else now.
Which reminds me, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start doing like top of the show plugs and then bottom of the show plugs. But
All right.
if you like what you're listening to, go to cactusrodeo.com/podcast. That is where our podcast network lives. We've got multiple shows like this one, Below Grade Level, and CD Reads, a show where Bekah and her friend Kelly read romance novels and talk about them.
Yes.
And the Sketchy Show, a show hosted by Sketchy, the improv comedy robot with sketch
Very
comedy.
expensive robot.
A very expensive robot that we built.
Yes.
That we built. And Movie Club, a show hosted by me and Bekah, where we have guests on and talk about movies. We watch movies that one of us has never seen before, and we talk about them. So that's the end of my vlog.
Yes.
What
Well,
show
back-
is this?
Say what?
I was just going to say, back to Babysitters Club, we also read a Babysitters Club book
Yes.
previously,
We
which was
did.
The Ghost at Dawn's House.
Yes.
Which was like the spooky Halloween kind of book.
Yeah. Oh,
I have no memory of it.
I have kind of a memory
I
of it.
did a life-size diorama, which I guess is just called a skit. I did a skit of that as a book report in elementary
Wait.
school.
A life-size diorama, as in like you just acted out
Yeah.
like a part of the book. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So, yeah, as I describe it, it sounds like just a skit. Which I can't remember if I talked about it. I probably did.
Well, no,
I never remember
I think
what
it's like
we
a
talked
mandate
about.
in
If you-
elementary school. You have to make dioramas.
Yeah.
If you did talk about it, I don't remember. But
So
it was also years ago.
Yeah. So I did the scene in the book where she's going through the crawl space and she
Uh-huh.
finds
The secret tunnel.
the peanut shells.
Yeah.
So I had like a long cardboard tube box and
Oh,
threw
wait.
peanut shells in it.
It's coming back to me now.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
shells. And
Yeah.
It was like a homeless kid or whatever.
Yeah, like a neighborhood
It
kid.
was like squatting in their barn or some shit.
Something.
I just remember
something
Dawn.
that wasn't a ghost at all.
Dawn's from California. Her parents
Yeah.
are divorced. We called her dad a Disneyland daddy
Oh, yeah.
because he was just it was really sad.
He was just like, "Hey kids, we're gonna buy your love."
Yeah, basically.
And so what we're reading today is the very first ever Babysitters Club book.
Yes, it is.
Which I don't remember if I've actually read.
Babysitters
Myself?
Club begins.
Babysitters Club 1. Kristy's great idea. So
Do you think it's the idea to form
Ooh,
a
form a
Babysitters
Babysitters
Club?
It's probably something else.
I didn't think about that until just now, but now I think that that's what it is.
Well, it's like because the other one, it says there was a ghost, but then there wasn't a ghost. So this one is probably going to end up not being a great idea.
Is it gonna be like Skyfall, where at the end he finally becomes James Bond, and at like the end of this book, she's gonna be like, "I call it the Babysitters Club."
Probably. I guess we'll find
We'll
out
find
together.
out. We'll find out. On this episode of Below Grade Level, we are reading, in fact, number 1 of the Babysitters Club, Kristy's Great Idea. We're gonna read chapters 1
Who's it
through.
by?
I'll tell you in a
Anne
second.
M. Martin. Sorry, I told you right away.
We're reading chapters 1 through 5 today.
That's a lot.
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's what we do now. It's a whole episode
Okay.
of a show that's us reading, so we got to read more than we used to read.
Okay.
But yeah, who wants to start?
I want to.
You want to start? Okay, Becca's gonna start.
I read these books growing up.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything except for the general, idea of the characters. I don't remember anything that happens
they
to
are
anyone.
babysitters and they have a
I
club.
remember who they are and like what their thing is.
I
Like
remember-
they've all got a thing.
I
Does it
remember.
ever get dark?
Probably.
I hope so.
I don't remember. It definitely gets dark because Stacy has diabetes, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure there's a book where she has like low blood sugar or something.
I remembered that one of the babysitters has diabetes.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
kept bringing it up in the one that one book we read, didn't they?
Probably.
And I remember one. Claudia is the only one that I remember because
Mhm.
she's artsy.
Yeah.
She's artistic.
Yes.
And that's what I would be.
You would be a
I
Claudia.
would be a Claudia. That's the other fun thing that we play. The fun game we play when we read Babysitters Club is which babysitter are you?
I'm definitely a combination of Kristy and Marianne.
Okay.
I'm the baby.
You're the baby.
You're the baby
And
that
Chris
they,
is the
they
baby we
babysit.
babysit.
Oh, right. I'm pretty sure you made that joke before, is that you're the younger brother.
Oh, probably.
You're everyone's younger brother that they hate. The other, so yeah, and the gist of this show, we read these books, but we very liberally ad-lib. We say whatever we want to while we read them, and we also make up voices for all the characters.
Very ad liberally.
And Bekah is exempt from voices
Yes.
until she wants to not be exempt from voices.
Yes, which please don't let me, because every time I listen to something where I did a voice, I want to kill myself.
Well, you should just not listen to any of it because when you do voices, it's really good.
Nope.
It's true.
So, are we starting?
yes. So
Chapter
let's
1.
Go ahead and start. Chapter 1.
The chapter, not names, but just the one in the chapter 1. It's in little blocks, like
Like on the logo.
yeah,
Yeah.
like letter blocks, like the logo.
That's
It's cute.
clever.
Okay.
It's pretty cute.
The Babysitters Club. I'm proud to say it was totally my idea, even though the 4 of us worked it out together. Us is Marianne Spear, Claudia Kishi, Stacey McGill, and me, Kristy Thomas.
Dawn's not there yet.
No,
When does Dawn
not-
come in?
I don't fucking know.
Sorry, I'm getting
Why don't
too-
you
I'm
give it
getting
a minute?
I'm getting ahead.
You barely took a sip of that drink.
It
You're
is-
refilling
Okay,
it.
I'm not refilling it. I am making it taste more like a whiskey
I'm
sour.
judging you.
You can judge me all you want. It tastes like lemon
He's
and
making
nothing
it
else.
taste more.
Hey, if our podcasts are nothing else, it's us getting way too drunk.
Yeah. I got the idea on the first Tuesday afternoon of 7th grade. It was a very hot day. It was so hot that in my unair-conditioned school, Stony Brook Middle School, the teachers had opened every single window and door and turned off all the lights. What's funny?
Just the name
Stony Brook.
Stony Brook?
Do you remember like shitty elementary schools that had no air conditioning?
Yeah,
you-
all of them.
Did you-
Yeah,
yeah.
all of them.
Oh, is that how they still are?
I don't know how they
Yeah.
are now, but
We're in Baltimore.
back in my day.
Yeah. They have to close schools because it's too fucking hot and they can't pay for air conditioning.
Okay, well that's depressing. And now
It
I feel
is
bad.
depressing. You
I
should feel bad.
Well, I do.
Fucking Annapolis over here, St. Mary's.
Well, in Annapolis, in my day,
Because
We
you're
did
older
not-
than both of us.
we did not have,
combined.
because I am the old man now, we didn't have air conditioning.
Did you just have nuns like fanning you with palm fronds?
No, they had to fan the nuns.
Yeah, the nuns wouldn't fan us.
They were more bundled
They're
up.
awful.
All right. Fine.
Oh, yeah, they were pretty hot. But temperature-wise. Go on.
Tell me more about these hot nuns.
She was 86.
Nice.
My hair stuck damply to the back of my neck, and I wished I had a rubber band so I could pull it into a long ponytail. Bees flew into the classroom and droned around our heads.
Bees flew into
And
my
Mr.
hair.
Redmont, our teacher, let us stop working to make fans out of construction paper. I remember doing that
Holy shit.
as a child.
Oh, yeah, you would, like, crisscross them.
Yeah.
I remember
The fans
this.
didn't do much except keep the bees away.
I really hope the bees are just a recurring issue.
But it was nice to take up 10 minutes of social studies making them.
Oh my god.
Oh, the educational system in America.
This book is called Babysitters Club, The Bee Problem. What are you gonna do about these bees? Anyway, that's
So wait, it's their fault the bees are dying?
Yeah.
Fuck, they killed all the bees with
The
their construction paper fans.
Yeah, we traced it back to the Babysitters Club. Anyway, that stifling afternoon dragged on forever, and when the hands of the clock on the front wall of our classroom finally hit 2:42 and the bell rang at 2:42?
242?
2:42? What?
Huh?
Okay. I leaped out of my seat and shouted, "Hooray!" I was just so glad that it was time to get out of there. I like school and everything, but sometimes enough is enough.
All right.
That's what it says. Enough is
I don't
enough.
trust this lady. She says she likes school.
She likes school and everything, but enough is enough, Chris.
Yeah, that's...
Mr.
I
Redmont
think
looked...
an adult wrote this.
That's weird for her to say, I feel like, from my memory.
Who is this
'cause
one?
She's not the school one. She's Kristy.
This is Kristy?
She's the tomboy.
Okay. Oh, Christy's a tomboy?
Mhm.
All right. Mr. Redmont looked shocked. He was probably thinking, he'd been so nice letting us make fans. And then there I was, not appreciating it at all, just glad the day was over. I felt bad, but I couldn't help what I'd done. I'm like that. I'm like that. I think of something to say, and I say it. Like
She's
Jonathan.
an Aries. She's a total Aries. Maybe Sagittarius.
Yeah, I think of something to do, and I do it. Mom calls it impulsive. Sometimes she calls it trouble. But she doesn't mean trouble. She doesn't just mean trouble. She means trouble.
Was it a capital
it's
T
an-
or
it's
was
an-
it like italicized?
It's in italics.
Okay.
And I was in trouble then. I could sense
You
it.
need more whiskey, John.
I could sense it. I've been in enough trouble to know when it's coming, trouble. Mr. Redmont cleared his throat. He was trying to think of a way to punish me without humiliating me in front of the other
Oh,
kids.
God.
Things like that are important to him, and that's probably why he'll get arrested eventually. Kristy, Mr. Redmont began, and then he changed his mind and started over. Class, he said, you have your homework assignments. You may go. Kristy, I'd like to see you for a minute.
While the rest of the kids gathered up their books and papers and left the room, talking and giggling, I made my way up to Mr. Redmont's desk. Before he could say a word, I began apologizing to him. Sometimes that helps. Mr. Redmont, I said, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean anything. I didn't mean I was glad school was over. I meant I was glad I could go home because my house is air conditioned. Mr. Redmont nodded. But do you think, Kristy, that it would be possible in the future for you to conduct yourself with a bit more decorum?
He sounds like the plant dad.
Yeah,
He
they
sounds
all
like
do.
the plant dad mixed with Archie Bunker. That was like full on Archie Bunker at the end there.
It was.
I wasn't sure the exact meaning of decorum because I went to public school. But I had a pretty good idea it meant not spoiling Mr. Redmont's day by jumping up and shouting hooray when the bell rang.
He's gonna think about that for like a week and be like, God damn it.
Yes, sir, I said. Sometimes being polite also helps. Good, said Mr. Redmont. But I want you to remember this incident, and the best way for us to remember things is to write them down. So tonight, I would like you to write a 100-word essay on the importance of decorum in the classroom. Darn, I'd have to find out what decorum meant after all. Not ad-libbing.
That's a harsh punishment.
Oh my God.
Like, all she did was say hooray.
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 Yes, sir, I said again. I went back to my desk, gathered up my books very slowly, and then walked very slowly out of the classroom.
She was in such a hurry
Very
before.
slowly. I hope Mr. Redmont was noticing the slowness because I was betting it was an important part of decorum.
Wait, is that what it says?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Did you know that this
I
book
was-
is hilarious?
I was literally about to say, I think decorum means slow.
And Kristy thinks she loves school. I found Mary Ann's spear waiting for me outside the door to my classroom. How many times do you think they're going to use people's full names?
I
Like
hope
first
Every
and
single
last.
time.
It's-
Every single time.
Ugh. She was leaning against the wall, biting her nails. Marianne is my best friend. We live
Weird.
next door to each other. We even look a little alike. We're both small for our age, and we both have brown hair that falls past our shoulders. But that's where the similarity ends, because I can't keep my mouth shut, and Marianne is very quiet and very shy. Luckily, that's only on the outside. The people who know her well, like Claudia and Stacy and me, get to see the inside of her. and
Ooh,
the
the dark
Marianne
side.
who's hiding in there is a lot of fun.
Ooh,
Ooh,
God.
hey, I greeted her. I pulled my hand out of... Wait. I pulled her hand out
I pulled
of
my
her.
hand out of her. That's how I saw her inside.
I pulled her hand out of her mouth and looked at her nails. Marianne, how do you ever expect to be able to wear nail polish if you keep doing that? Oh, come on, she said with a sigh. Nail polish. I'll be 75 before my father lets me wear it. Ooh, I bet that's telling of her character.
Oh. Mary Ann's father is the only family she's got. Depressing. Her mother is fucking dead, and she has no brothers or sisters.
They're dead.
Whoa!
They've all
They've all died.
they've all died. Her father killed them all.
Jeez.
Unfortunately, her father is pretty strict. My mother says it's just because Mr. Spear is nervous since Marianne is all he's got. You'd think, though, that he could let her wear her hair down instead of always in braids, or give her permission to ride her bike to the mall with Claudia
I don't
and me
think
once
my
in a
dad
while.
would have even understood what braids were to be able to demand them of me as a child.
That's, yeah. Put your hair in the thing that horses have.
Just make sure you have hair.
Yeah.
Make sure your hair's not...
keep hair on your head,
the
no
hair-
nail polish
keep the
on your
hair.
nails.
Keep hair. But no, at Mr. Spear's house, it's rules, rules, rules. It's a miracle that Marianne was even allowed to become a member of the Babysitters Club.
So I guess it's not a great idea if it's already established at the beginning of the book.
What's an... oh.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
the great idea was. Maybe the great idea is a fight
Maybe
club.
there'll be like a
Ooh,
flashback.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
We walked out of school and suddenly I began running. I forgot all about decorum because I just remembered something else. Oh my gosh! I cried. Marianne raced after me. What is it? She panted. It's Tuesday! I called over my shoulder. So, slow down, Kristy. It's too hot to run. I can't slow down. Tuesday is my afternoon to watch David Michael, a serial killer.
Michael.
He has two first names. I'm supposed to beat him home. Otherwise, he gets home first and has to watch himself, and we all know what he does when we're not looking.
Jerks off.
Jerks off. David Michael is my 6-year-old brother with a masturbation problem.
I didn't know that when I said it.
My big brothers, Charlie and Sam, and I are each responsible for him one afternoon a week.
Until Mom gets home from work. Kathy, this 15-year-old girl who lives a few blocks from us, watches him the other 2 afternoons.
I forgot I have a Spotify playlist for this.
Darn.
All right, restart the whole book. Go
A
back
whole
to page
book,
1.
restart. No, keep going. I'm
All
going
right.
to start it.
Kathy gets paid to watch him like a whore. Charlie and Sam and I
Gets paid
don't.
to watch him jerk off.
Yep.
Like a whore.
Marianne and I ran all the way home. We reached my front yard, sweaty and out of breath, and there was David Michael, sitting forlornly on the front steps, his dark curls falling limply across his forehead, his penis erect and in his hand. He burst into tears as soon as he saw us. Maybe he was using it for lubricant. What's wrong? I asked. I sat down beside him and put my arm around his shoulders. I'm locked out, he wailed. What happened to your key? David Michael shook his head and his other hand. I don't know. He wiped his eyes, hiccuping.
Is David Michael like a full first name?
I guess. Like every time I was in trouble, I'd be Christopher Glenn.
Wait, this is just Spice Girls.
Yeah, but it's instrumental.
Oh, okay.
Well, I said, it's all right. I got my own key out of my purse. David Michael burst into fresh tears. No, it's not. It's not all right. I couldn't get in and I have to go to the bathroom. We
Fresh
know
Tears
what
is
you
my
do in that bathroom.
MC name.
MC Fresh Tears. I unlocked the door. When David Michael gets like this, it's best just to sort of ignore his tears and pretend everything is fine. We all know what he does in that bathroom.
Jesus Christ.
Marianne and I held the door open for him, and I ushered him into the bathroom. Our collie
Louis tore outside as we went in. He was frantic to get outdoors after being locked in the house since breakfast time. While you go to the bathroom, I told David Michael, I'm going to fix us some lemonade, okay? David Michael actually smiled. Okay. I'm guessing that's his fucking...
Can we call him DM
His
or
first
something?
name is David fucking Michael.
Jesus Christ.
My sister's siblings all call her Mary Ellen.
Is he super Irish?
Why?
I don't know.
Your sister?
No, my mom's sisters all call her Mary Ellen.
Is Ellen her middle name?
Uh-huh.
Well, I used to call my friend Mary Beth. Because Beth
Wasn't her name Mary Beth?
Well, no, her middle name is Beth.
Oh.
So it's
I
Mary.
thought her first name was Mary Beth.
No, her first name is just Mary. But
Well, I did not know that.
But yeah, like I don't know why, but we all called her Mary Beth, and she hated it.
What? I didn't know
why'd
she
you do
hated it.
it?
I called her that. I thought that was her fucking name.
Well, it is her name.
It's not her first name.
Why do you all call her that if she hates it?
Well, I didn't know she hated it until like it was years into us being
It
friends.
felt too familiar to call her Mary because I thought her name was Mary Beth.
I think Mary is just a thing that she like established when she was like, you know.
But no one
In-
has
like, as
to
an adult.
establish their first name.
I would have
It's
called
not
myself
normal.
Marbo.
It's not normal to call someone by their first and middle name.
But that's how I knew her.
Well, now we're
I'm-
going to call you John Sharp.
Really confused.
Okay, that
John,
sounds cool.
John Sharp.
That sounds like a.
I'll never
like
remember
a,
that.
Like a detective.
Or John Shaw.
John what?
John Shaw.
Well, because the first syllable of your first name and then the first syllable of your...
Joshua?
No, John Shaw.
Oh, John Shaw.
I'd be Bekah, which makes me sound like I'm
sounds-
from Superman.
Yeah, that just sounds like Superman's like aunt.
I'd be Craig
Superman's aunt. Superman's aunt.
I'd be
That's
Chris
who
Glenn.
I am.
Or Chris Gleh.
Chris Gleh. Okay. I'm good with children. So is Marianne. Mom says so. My mom thinks I'm cool. Both of us get lots of afternoon and weekend babysitting jobs. In fact, I'd been offered a job for that afternoon, but I had to turn it down because of David Michael.
Stupid David
Michael.
What's the name of the character in The Office? David...
Wallace?
I feel like David Wallace. Okay, that's what I keep thinking of. I'm just picturing David Wallace.
Well, I'm just gonna assume that her little brother is played by David Wallace.
Yes, me too.
from
Okay.
The Office.
That reminded me. Hey, I said to Marianne as I turned on the air conditioning. Mrs. Newton asked me to babysit for Jamie this afternoon. Didn't she call you after she called me? Marianne sat down at the kitchen table and watched me put lemonade mix in a big glass pitcher. She shook her head. No, maybe she called Claudia. Claudia Kishi lives across the street from me. She and Marianne and I have lived on Bradford Court since we were born. We've grown up together, but somehow Claudia has never spent as much time with us as Marianne and I have spent with each other.
The Bradford Court bitches
confusing
is what we were
sentence.
called.
For one thing, Claudia's really into art and always off at art classes, or else holed up in her room painting or drawing.
What a weirdo.
Oh, the artist.
It's.
Are you okay?
Did
I'm
you-
laughing at the music.
Yeah.
What is, I don't know what this
It's
says.
Baby One More
Still
Time.
believe.
or reading mysteries. That's her other passion, mysteries.
She sounds awesome.
Yeah. She's much more grown up than Marianne and I. When we were little, Marianne and I were always playing school or dolls or dress up, but we practically had to brainwash
Who
Claudia.
played school? I never played school. You already had to go to
Bor-
school.
boring
Kid's a
kids.
Sick bastard.
Couldn't get enough of school. We had to play it when we were not at school. We had to brainwash Claudia to get her to join us. A lot of the time,
Brainwash?
we had to brainwash her. We held her down and kept her eyes open like in Clockwork Orange.
Babysitter's cult.
we were like, school. A lot of the time, we just didn't bother. But Claudia's always been good for a bike ride, if you know what that means, or going to the movies or the community pool.
If you know what that means.
As far as I'm concerned, one of the best things about Claudia is that her father isn't Mr. Spear. Damn.
That's pretty harsh.
Mr. Kishi can be strict about Claudia's schoolwork. Welcome back to Reading with me. I hope you didn't miss it. But he doesn't faint if you suggest going downtown for a Coke or something. And
That
by-
does sound dirty and dangerous.
Wait, I'm going to read it again. But he doesn't faint if you suggest going downtown to score some blow or something. Over the summer, it had started to feel like Claudia was drifting apart from Marianne and me. Should be Marianne and I, but I'm stupid. I don't know what decorum
She
means.
did that earlier, too. She didn't say and I. I noted it because I'm a fucking Marianne.
Kristy.
Marianne wouldn't make that mistake.
Kristy, I'm a Claudia, and even I wouldn't make that mistake, you dumb bitch. Even though we were all going into 7th grade, Claudia suddenly seemed older. She started caring about boys and had spent more time than usual adding to her wardrobe and talking
Did she
on the
get
phone.
boobs first?
Her boobs were huge. Couldn't believe this girl's tits. We'd all made up at the end of summer and made out, but it still felt like we were going in different directions sometimes.
So, wait.
David Michael came into the kitchen looking much cheerier.
She said 7th grade, right? So they're 12?
7th grade,
Is that
so they would
12?
be like 11, right? 7th grade. No, I think 12, you're right.
11, 12?
Like 11, 12.
Okay.
Here you go, I said. I handed him a glass of lemonade as he sat next to Marianne. Charlie came in then, tossing a football around, like boys do. Sam got home a few minutes later, with Louis skidding along behind him, rubbing his buttle on the carpet. Charlie
Is that a brother or the dog? I don't remember.
It's a brother. They don't like to talk about him.
Charlie
Oh,
is
here too.
Charlie is 16 and Sam is 14. They both go to Stony Brook High. Sam's a freshman this year and Charlie's a junior.
Check
Hi.
out their book series later this month.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Squirt, Charlie said to David Michael. I'm not a squirt, replied David Michael. Charlie thought...
Does it say
David
that?
Michael, you were
No,
cursed
it's
from the
insane.
start.
Jesus Christ. Is that like
That name like David Michael.
gotta get the word count in. Let's fucking name this character 2 names.
Charlie thought he was so great because he just made the varsity team. You'd think he was the first person ever to play football for Stony Brook High.
I mean, if he's a junior, that's not... I mean, wait. Was Charlie the junior or the freshman?
Charlie is 16,
I
Sam
need
is
to write down
14.
this. Here.
Yeah, Charlie's a junior. All right. We're going to
Well,
play...
he'd have to be on varsity because they were only juniors and seniors. Your default on varsity.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
He's
Charlie.
like third string. we're going to play ball in the Hansons' backyard, Sam announced. Want to play, Kristy? I did, but David Michael wouldn't want to. He was too little. I don't know. I thought Marianne and I would take David Michael to the brook. You want to go wading, David Michael? I asked. He nodded happily. See you guys later, I called as Sam and Charlie left the house, slamming the front door behind them. Marianne and I took David Michael and Louie to the brook, and we watched David Michael.
That sounds so boring. Wait. Oh. We watched David Michael wade and make sailboats and try to catch minnows. Louie ran around looking for squirrels.
How's Louis spelled?
Louie.
Thank you. Is that the dog?
Yep,
Yes.
a collie. Write that down.
And
Write down Collie.
Collie. And what were the brothers' names? Sam and Diane?
Yes. Yes.
What was
Charlie.
Charlie, thank you.
I'd better go, Marianne said after an hour or so. An hour or so of watching a child make sailboats. That sounds like fucking torture.
Oh my god.
Dad will be home soon. Yeah, Mom will be home soon too. David Michael, I called. Time to leave. He stood up reluctantly, and the three of us and Louie walked home together. When we reached our driveway, David Michael ran across the lawn, and Marianne whispered to me, 9 o'clock, okay?
Oh my god.
I grinned, okay. Marianne and I have a secret code. Marianne made it up.
She
Can
whispers
signal
the time, and that's the time that we meet up.
Hold on. We can signal each other with flashlights. If I look out my bedroom window, I can see right into hers.
Nice.
Oh
yeah.
Nice.
Lots of nights we talk to each other with the flashlights, since Marianne isn't allowed on the phone after dinner, except for things like babysitting jobs or getting homework assignments. Do you have that much to say to your friend that you have to communicate with flashlights? Your friend that you just spent all day with and then babysat with?
I mean,
I mean, they didn't have memes at
well,
the time.
that's what I was just gonna say. Like, I guess at that age, and also in like the 90s, there wasn't much else to do. So I feel like I kind of
And
did.
the nighttime.
I mean, I spent a lot of time at that age on the phone with friends.
Oh,
but if I
yeah.
didn't have, if I wasn't able to call them, I seriously doubt I would, like, send fucking flashlight signals. I'd probably just be like, well, I'm alone now. When Mom came home a little while later, she had a pizza with her.
Nice.
My brothers and I stood around the kitchen, breathing in the smell of the cheese and pepperoni. But Sam and Charlie looked skeptical. I wonder what she wants, murmured Sam. Yeah, said Charlie.
Ooh, it's getting juicy.
I think the pizza's a bribe.
Mom only gets pizza when she has to ask us a favor. I decided not to beat around the bush. How come you bought a pizza, Mom? I asked. Charlie kicked my ankle, but I ignored him. Come on, what do you have to ask us? Mom grinned.
Give us the scoop.
What's the lowdown, see? She knew exactly what she was doing, and she knew that we knew it, and we knew that she knew that we knew it, and she knew that we knew that she knew that we knew it. Oh, all right, she said. Kathy called me at work to say that she won't be able to watch David and Michael tomorrow.
Repressed. Hold on, I was looking at your notes. It's accurate
Thank you.
for Marianne.
I was wondering what you guys are. Football practice, said Charlie promptly. Math club, said Sam. Sitting. Oh, babysitting. Slang. It's slang.
Sitting on babies.
Sitting at Newton's, I said. Drat, said Mom.
Drat.
But we are sorry, added Sam. I know you are. And she looked really disappointed, like moms do. And then we dug into the pizza while Mom started crying and making phone calls. She called Marianne. Marianne was sitting for the Pikes. I'm still getting used to the slang. She called Claudia. Claudia had an art class. She called 2 high school girls. They had cheerleading practice. David Michael looked like he might cry. Finally, Mom called Mrs. Newton and asked if she would mind if I brought David Michael. Jesus Christ. I'm so tired already of saying David Michael.
I'm not.
I wrote you a note
Thank
so
you.
you could remember what sitting means.
Oh, thank God. If I could bring David Michael when I sat for Jamie. It's a glossary.
Luckily, Mrs. Newton didn't mind. I chewed away at a gloppy mouthful of cheese and pepperoni and thought it was too bad that Mom's pizza had to get cold while she made all those phone calls. I thought it was too bad
Any
that
euphemism?
David Michael had to sit there and feel like he was causing a lot of trouble just because he was only 6 years old
Well, no one had to make him feel like that.
and couldn't take care of himself yet. Then
What
the
a
I-
fucking loser.
What
then
is happening?
the idea for the Babysitters Club came to me, and I
Didn't
almost
she already
choked.
say it?
She did. At
Page
the
one?
continuity
Yeah, we
error.
already
Something like
established a
word
Babysitters
one.
Club.
Yep. It
Okay.
doesn't make sense.
Wait.
Okay.
I could barely wait until 9 o'clock so I could signal the great idea to Marianne.
Did they know? Is it Morse code? Did they know Morse code?
No, it's just intuition. They have phone sex with flashlights.
Flashlight sex.
On, off, on, off.
on. Sorry. Go on.
After dinner,
Wait,
that
you had to announce the chapter.
chapter 2.
We have to know.
Correct.
Thank you for confirming.
You're welcome.
After dinner that night, I went to my bedroom and shut my door.
Yeah.
Then I sat down at my desk with a pad of paper and a sharpened pencil.
Oh no.
I had 3 things to do. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to use this moment. Oh, see, I guess Chris was right when he said it was a flashback. I just didn't
Oh.
realize the first 3 sentences were setting up the flashback.
Wait, so what were the first? Wait.
So, going back to chapter 1,
Yes.
the Babysitters Club. I'm
An hour
proud
and
to
a half
say it
ago.
was totally my idea, even though the 4 of us worked it out together. Us is blah blah, Marianne, Claudia,
okay.
Stacy, Kristy. I got the idea on the first Tuesday, blah blah blah.
Okay.
So chapter 1 was her getting the idea.
I see.
That's
Chapter
the
2
page
is her
you
like
read.
Morse coding it over to Marianne.
All right.
So where am I? I had 3 things to do: the composition on decorum, my homework, and some thinking about the Babysitters Club.
I had 4
I
things
planned to do them in that order. Grossest first.
Ooh.
I looked up decorum in my dictionary. It said conformity to social convention, propriety. See synonyms at etiquette. I had to look up both propriety and etiquette before I got the picture because I'm really dumb.
Jesus
Thank you,
Christ,
public
you didn't
That
know
I
etiquette?
understood. I'd been rude. Why hadn't Mr. Redmont just said so? It would have made things a lot simpler. So I wrote down some stuff about how being rude was distracting to other students or whatever and made Stony Brook Middle School look bad to visitors. I counted the words. 98. So I added the end with a great big flourish and hope for the best.
She should have added
Fucking
David Michael.
legit funny Anna
I
M. Martin.
love-
I applaud you.
I love Kristy. She is my hero so
She
far.
was my favorite.
She's great. Then I did the math assignment and read about Paraguay for social studies. And then it was time to think about the Babysitters Club. I smoothed out a fresh piece of paper and I started making a list of people to kill. And then I smoothed out another piece of paper, started making another list. Members: me, Marianne, Claudia. Who else? Advertising: flyer, telephone, newspaper, question mark. Sorry, that was item 1, members. Item 2, advertising. We're on to item 3. Set up meeting times when clients can call to line up sitters. Where to meet? Question mark. Item 4. Weekly dues for expenses? Question mark. My idea was that Marianne and Claudia and I would form a club, if you
She
will,
knows what the fuck expenses are, but not decorum?
to do babysitting. Hey, she's a capitalist, all right? She's not a brain scientist. We would tell people, parentheses, our clients, that at certain times during the week we could all be reached at one number.
We would hold our meetings during those times. That way, when someone needed a sitter, he or she could make one phone call and reach 3 different people. One of us would be available for sure. Of course, people could call us individually at other times. But the beauty of the meetings would be the opportunity to reach several babysitters at once. Our clients wouldn't have to go through what Mom had just gone through at dinner, because calling multiple people is the worst. We would have to advertise ourselves, I decided.
Anyone with anxiety can confirm.
I was hoping Claudia would help us make up some flyers to stick in the mailboxes in our neighborhood. She'd be able to draw something really cute on her ads. Honestly, by the time you're a parent, you don't really give a shit about calling people when you need a sitter.
Yeah.
I looked at my watch. It was 8:45. 15 more minutes before I was supposed to signal Marianne. I was getting edgy. I had such a terrific idea, and I couldn't even pick up the goddamn phone like a normal goddamn human being to tell goddamn Marianne about it. Mr. Spear, though it's pronounced Spire.
Oh,
Maybe he's
does it
a
say that
spy.
in there?
Spier. No, I'm just saying that.
Well, my entire childhood I'd pronounce it as spear, so I'm going to stick with that.
I'm gonna stick with what she
would
did,
just
Spear.
tell me I could see Marianne in school tomorrow. I sighed. Whoopee cushion.
Wait.
No.
No. I don't have a whoopee
Oh,
cushion.
right.
But I do have something else.
All right, take 2.
Take 2.
I sighed. Mom knocked on my door. I knew it was Mom because none of my brothers ever bothers to knock. They just barge in.
That's horrifying.
Even if I'm masturbating.
Great. Come in, I called.
do.
Hi, sweetie, said Mom. She closed the door behind her and sat on the edge of my bed. How was school? Mom tries to spend a little time alone with each of us kids every day. She feels guilty that she and my father are divorced, and she has to work full-time to support us. She's told us so.
It's a real 90s.
Keeping it cool, Mom.
It's a real 90s problem. I'm just trying to keep it together.
Whew. She's told us. Oh, yeah, she told us so. I wish she wouldn't feel guilty. It's not her fault that Dad ran off to California and got married again and doesn't send Mom much child support money. So were you asking if this got dark?
Yep, there we go.
It sure got real.
He couldn't even take David Michael.
He was like, I didn't
I
want
know,
him.
like you'd think you'd pick at
I
least a
didn't
couple
want that
kids.
one in the first place.
Mom
He's the
says
whole
You're the reason I
That's
left.
what I was gonna say. Okay, go on.
Mom says she doesn't want more money, though. She's lying. She has a terrific job at this big company in Stamford. And she likes the fact that she can support us so well. It makes her feel proud and independent, but she still feels guilty.
Almost
My
like a
father can
character
be
flaw.
sort of a jerk sometimes. He hasn't called us in over a year. Sounds like a horrible person.
Damn.
And he even forgot my 12th birthday last month. Definitely a horrible fucking person.
Sounds like he's not your dad anymore.
I paused, trying to think of a way to answer Mom's question without telling her about the composition I had to write. Kristy? Mom asked. It was fine. Okay, what happened? She's no nonsense.
It's okay, Kristy. He'll reach out again in like 10 years.
Yikes.
Wow.
Where am I? Oh, there I am.
Right page.
In the past.
There. Where'd I go just now? There is absolutely no fooling Mom. Well, I said. Well, you know how.
Well.
Well.
You know how hot it was today? Yes. And you know how sometimes a hot day can seem really long? Kristy, get to the point. So I did, and Mom laughed.
She's a cool mom.
But okay, okay.
What kind of
Gets it.
shit
She
kid
gets it.
teacher is this?
Yeah.
Then she read my composition and said that she thought it was fine. That's not good. Fine. Pretty harsh, but real.
I mean, Kristy's not the kind of person that would split hairs about fine versus good.
Okay, good. I asked her if she thought the end could count as the 99th and 100th words, and she smiled and she said she hoped so. I was really her daughter.
Wow.
My
I
mom-
love this
You were the
mom
good
right
one.
now.
My mom is really great. When she left to go talk to Sam, it was 9 o'clock. I got out my flashlight and I turned off the lamp by my desk and I stood at the window and I faced Mary Ann's room. I flashed the light once to let her know that I was there. She flashed back. Good. She was ready. Then I flashed out this message. It took forever. And this is all
Is
cap.
it Morse code?
It's all caps. So
Do they say?
have great idea for Babysitters Club. Must talk. Be important. Can't wait.
Be important?
I misread that. Can't wait. Can't.
Oh, shit.
Can't wait. We can get lots of jobs.
Oh my god. You were the perfect one of us to read that. I'm so glad that you read that. Fuck.
Ooh, there's a little more.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Be important.
But it turns out I sent the wrong message, and she read it as, we can give lots of jobs.
You have to yell.
Is it all caps?
No, not yet.
Not yet,
I
not
just
yet.
I added that extra
Alright.
part.
What kinds of jobs?
That's implied.
Hand or blow?
Both. One costs more than the other. It also depends on the day of the week. There was a pause. Then Mary Ann flashed her boobs. Then Mary Ann flashed,
Ew.
what? And I had to start all over again. I shortened the message. At last, Mary Ann flashed, terrific! See you tomorrow! And we put the flashlights away. Mary Ann hasn't been caught once, and we plan to keep it that way. I was just closing the drawer where I hide my flashlight.
Wouldn't life
Among
be
other
dildos.
things.
Wouldn't life be easier if they just wrote on giant pieces of fucking paper and held it up?
Yeah, but that's a waste of paper. They're being environmentally conscious.
They could write backwards
Well,
on the
fuck
window
me,
with
then.
like a...
I was just closing the drawer where I hide my flashlight, among other accoutrements, when Mom knocked again. Come in, I said curiously, turning the light on. Mom doesn't usually come back for a second chat. On the other hand, I don't usually keep my door closed for so long. It doesn't really take that
Not
long.
at night?
This time, Mom sat at my desk and I sat on the bed. I just wanted to let you know, she said, that I'm going out with Watson on Saturday night. I forgot to
Watson?
tell you before."
Watson?
I groaned.
Holmes's friend?
Mom has been seeing this guy, Watson, a doctor of some sort, off and on for about
I'm
4
so
months.
happy.
She likes him a lot, but I don't like him much at all. He's divorced from his wife and has 2 little kids. Plus,
What kind of person gets divorced?
Just like Mom.
he's getting bald.
Ew!
Nightmare.
I'm not asking for your permission, Kristy, Mom said. I just
I
want
like
you
this
to be
mom.
able to plan
I
on
do
my
too.
being out Saturday. Charlie's got a date, but Sam will be home. I nodded.
I nodded.
I wish you could be a little more open-minded about Watson, said Mom. Is that his fucking first name?
I don't know.
Oh boy.
I can't make you like him, but you haven't given him much of a chance. The truth is, I haven't given any of the men, and it's been many, Mom has dated, a chance. I'm afraid that if I break down and treat them nicely, one of them might marry Mom. Think what could happen then. We're happy the way we are. With my mom struggling to support all
We're
of
happy
us.
with the way we are, with Mom
And
desperately
me
alone.
employed as a 12-year-old. What a paradise. One more thing, said Mom. This is Watson's weekend to have the children, and he has to work on Saturday morning. He doesn't like it, but that's the way it is. He wondered if you'd babysit for Andrew and Karen while he's at the office. I shook my head. Watson has asked me at least 3 times to sit for his kids, but I won't do it. I don't want to have anything to do with him or his family. Jesus.
I don't
Charge
even
him double.
I don't even care if he gives me money.
Yeah,
Fuck
I don't
him.
do it, Ma, but I don't come cheap.
I either make up an excuse or else I flatly refuse. Okay, said Mom. It's your choice. She sounded as if she meant it's your funeral.
Oh damn.
But she came over and kissed me on the top of my head, so I knew she wasn't angry. She
Kiss
could
of
still be
death.
angry.
And then she whispered in my ear, I know it was you, Kristy.
Going to bed soon, she asked. Yeah, you can leave the door open, I told her as she left my room, because I guess she's insane and isn't scared of monsters. I mean, we leave the door open now, but that's because we have asshole cats. When
That's
I was
true.
a kid growing up, the door had to be fucking closed.
Really?
Not cracked, closed. Yes.
Why?
Because I wanted to feel secure in my little cocoon. Is that weird? Did you have your door open or closed as a kid?
It all depended. Like when I was like super young, I think
when I was young, it was open.
leave it open for the light for the
Mhm.
hallway.
But then when I was older, it was closed.
But also I shared a room with my brother.
Yeah,
I shared
also-
a room with my sister, but also we kept the door closed.
But you were also the same age as your sister. My brother's
Yeah.
4 years older, so
Oh,
once it got to a point where he was just like, I can't fucking sleep with the door open.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. Well, I said goodnight to my brothers, and a half hour later I crawled into bed. What was she doing for a half an hour?
What?
Saying goodnight to her brothers.
Good night. Good night.
Oh,
Good night.
Messing around with the contents of that drawer. Louis sacked out next to me. Sacked
Sacked out?
Is that a slang? Okay.
Louis sacked out, as in Louis laid down and his fucking ball sack was
Ew.
just out.
I was told Mom we should
I
have got
hate
it
it.
fixed.
I lay there stroking him. I'm thinking about Mom and Watson and Andrew and Karen. It's what it said.
I didn't hear it right away.
Then I remembered the Babysitters Club and cheered up. Tomorrow couldn't come fast enough.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom. Don't read anything cool till I'm back.
Chapter 3. Mr. Redmont accepted my composition on decorum. I handed it to him before school, so he wouldn't have to read it while the entire class was hanging around. He didn't count the words, just skimmed it, looked up at me and said, "This is fine, Kristy. Fine work. You express yourself very nicely on paper." And that was it. No words of wisdom, no scolding. I heaved a sigh of relief and I walked to my desk with decorum. After school, Marianne and I ran home together again. It wasn't quite as hot as it had been the day before, so we weren't as uncomfortable. "You're sitting for the Pikes today?" I asked Marianne as we jogged along. Marianne nodded. We really don't have any, voices for these characters
Yeah.
yet. I mean, they're all girls.
Yeah, and I can't sound like a female, so
But, we definitely need, I don't know. We need voices for them.
how many of them? There are 8 Pike children.
Jesus Christ.
2.
Are they gypsies?
Probably. 2. Claire and Margot. Oh, not bad, I said. Claire and Margot are 4 and 6. They're fun. More important, they like babysitters. Where are you sitting today? Asked Marianne. The Newtons. David Michael is coming with me. He can play with Jamie.
The Newtons.
Oh, hey, great. Maybe I'll bring Claire and Margot over for a while. They can all play together, and then you can tell me about the Babysitting Club. Okay, I agreed. But first things first, it's the Babysitters Club, you dumb cunt. Don't go renaming it. It's my fucking idea. It's my great idea.
First rule of Babysitters Club: don't
change the
rename
fucking name.
Babysitters Club.
What did they try to rename it to?
She said Babysitting Club. Like
Ugh.
a stupid bitch.
Who said that?
Marianne.
Classic
I kind
Marianne.
of trust her. I mean, she's a lot smarter than Kristy, but it's okay. Go on.
Yes.
We parted when we reached my house, and I was glad to see that I'd gotten home before David Michael.
Well, so even look at the cover. There should be an apostrophe somewhere, but there's not. It's just plural.
But it could be the
It should be an apostrophe.
or it could be the Babysitters Club, like it's a club of babysitters. Like the Babysitters Club.
Plural.
The plural
But it
babysitters.
should be like.
No, I think
It
could.
should be possessive.
I think
Shouldn't it be like
I think
Babysitters Inc.?
I think it could work either way.
I
or
think it should be
Babysitters
possessive and
LTD?
plural.
The Babysitters Club is in it's their club.
It should be like the Babysitters' Club. Like
but then
possessive and plural.
But then it would be the
Well,
baby.
that would just sound dumb.
But yeah, then it would be the Babysitters' Club.
I mean, you could still say Babysitters Club, but as long as you put the apostrophe in the right place, then I don't have any complaints.
I let Louie
I think
out.
grammatically,
I think grammatically I'm correct.
I think grammatically both are correct. I think grammatically it doesn't need an apostrophe.
I let Louie out and made a pitcher of lemonade.
It's completely different meanings.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's two different meetings.
At
One is that it's
3:30
the club
sharp.
of the babysitters, and one is the Babysitters Club.
Chris is a Stacy.
At 3:30 sharp, David, Michael, and I were
Chris has
standing on...
diabetes.
He has gout. That's close.
Probably. At 3:30
It's
sharp,
food restrictions.
David,
true.
Michael, and I were standing on the Newton's front steps.
Stacy's like, I can't drink liquor.
Punctuality is an important part of babysitting.
Read too.
I have never once been late for a job, of any sort. My customers appreciate that. I let David Michael ring the bell. In a few seconds, the front door was flung wide open. Hi, hi! Exclaimed Jamie. Jamie
Ew.
is 3.
Jamie is 3.
Jamie is 3?
Jamie is 3.
I
David
fucking lied to you.
David Michael gave me a look that said, I have to play with a 3-year-old who goes hi hi. Honestly, David Michael, I understand.
Yeah.
That's horrible. I patted David Michael on the back. Hi, Jamie, I replied. Look, he exclaimed as we stepped into the Newton's front hall. Look what I got. He held out a little doll in an army uniform. It's a G.I. Joe. Really? Said David Michael, suddenly interested. Yup, said Jamie proudly. Got any others? Asked my little brother. Sure, replied Jamie. Come on.
Roblox, you got Duke?
Of course I fucking have Duke.
I don't get these jokes.
Cobra Commander.
Do you have Scarlet?
Of course.
What about Radiohead?
The boys ran off. Mrs. Newton greeted me from the kitchen. Thank goodness for G.I. Joe, she said. I smiled. Sorry about David Michael, but it looks like it'll work out okay. I never like to impose on my clients. I'm sure it will be fine, Mrs. Newton Mrs. Newton patted her bulging stomach. Jamie better get
Number
used
9.
to other children. How long until the babies do? I asked.
Jesus Christ.
About 8 weeks. Damn,
What are they-
that's close.
What are they, Catholic?
I sighed. Wait, hold on. I sighed. Oh, I wish it would hurry up.
The Mormons?
You wish.
Evangelical?
A 12-year-old is looking at a grown woman's stomach and saying, I wish it would hurry up.
I'm so tired of looking at your fucking
she's
pregnant
thinking money.
stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cash money.
Cash money. I'm a
See,
capitalist.
She is a
Gonna
capitalist.
get that evangelical money.
Mrs. Newton gave me the instructions for the afternoon. Just a doctor's appointment and a few errands, she reminded me. I should be back by 5:30. Okay, 5:30, I repeated. As soon as she was gone, I called Marianne at the Pikes. Come over whenever you want to, I said. The Pikes lives just a few doors away, so Marianne showed up in 10 minutes.
Wait,
She-
who are the Pikes?
Who Marianne
Marianne's
was
babysitting.
babysitting. Or,
So just
sitting.
a
for
nearby
slang.
family? Okay.
She was pulling Claire and Margot in a red wagon. Hi, hi!
I used to have a red wagon.
Jamie greeted them cheerfully. Hi, hi! Claire, the 4-year-old, replied. Hi, hi! A parrot said over at my shoulder. David, Michael, and Margot eyed each other suspiciously, as if to say, "Can you fucking believe this shit?" They hadn't played together much, and David Michael was wary of any little girl, especially one who wasn't in his class at all, who had a vagina. We took the kids out back to Jamie's
They
swings.
pronounced it vagina.
But he doesn't like the kids who have
Like Pescetti.
a
That's horrifying.
He's wary of vaginas.
Oh, I hate it.
We took the kids out back to Jamie's swings. We took the kids out back to Jamie's sex swings. When they were playing happily, Mary Ann said, "So," okay, I'm trying to come up with a voice
Okay.
For Marianne.
for Mary Ann.
She's a nerd. She's like, who's the nerd in Scooby-Doo?
Velma.
Velma. She's Velma.
She's Velma. Like, oh, geez, Jinkies, right?
Kind of,
I'm
yeah.
saying, oh, okay. Oh, that's it.
What the fuck?
That's Mary Ann.
We'll feel it out.
So what about the babysitting club? What?
Got it.
And then, okay, you
She
got it?
probably has anxiety.
You got it?
I mean, you're
Retainer.
correct.
So what
Yeah.
are you thinking? Like do I have to be like,
So, when are we
oh,
going to talk about the babysitter?
oh, okay. So, okay, let's do it again. Mary Ann said, so what about the babysitting club? Like
I
that?
said the wrong fucking name again.
She did, that fucking bitch. Okay,
Hashtag Team Marianne.
Kristy. I'm hashtag Team Kristy. Kristy's tomboy.
Yeah. I was
Entrepreneur.
more... Growing up, I was definitely a Kristy.
Okay.
As an adult, I'm definitely a fucking Marianne. She's the secretary of the club. She's the fucking nerd.
I think on
I've changed.
I think on paper you might be Mary Ann, but then like at your heart you're a Kristy. Like when push comes to shove.
Kristy's an Aries.
When push comes to shove, you would yell hooray when the fucking clock strikes
Hell yeah.
2:42.
A
Yeah,
Mary Ann
this
in
is the person
streets.
that tried to
A
leave work.
Kristy in the sheets.
Oh, God.
That's gonna
See,
be on my wife's
The
tombstone.
Kristy and me tried to leave work at 3:00 today, but
Uh-huh.
the Marianne and me left at 3:45 because
Jesus.
people kept talking to me about work stuff.
Christ, it's true. It's true then.
It's who I am.
You're at odds. You have
I'm at odds.
You have a Kristy and a Mary Ann battling each other inside. Okay, so Kristy, what's she sound like? Kristy's got to be like a little tough,
Yeah,
like
she's
streets. So okay, I'm gonna go with like my wise guy voice from before. Like,
You've been reading already. You never picked a voice for her?
but I know that's what we were talking
Paying
about. We haven't
attention.
picked
We're
voices yet
feeling
for
it
these
out.
characters. We're feeling it out.
All
It's
right,
the
all
first.
right.
It's the first episode. Well, I replied,
And we have no memory of the last book we read.
I thought we could get together with a couple of other girls who babysit and form a club, sort of like a company. That sounds right. That sounds like Kristy. We were interrupted. I don't know.
I have
She's
another
not a
idea.
wise
I have another
guy.
idea. Spinelli
She's
from
like a-
Recess.
What?
Spinelli from Recess.
I've
Who's
never
that?
watched
What the fuck is
Recess.
She
that?
was a tomboy, voiced by Pamela Adlon.
Okay, so what does that sound like?
Kind of like Bobby Hill.
Okay, you'll have to do it. We were interrupted by a thump and a whale.
That's my best whale noise I got.
Not bad.
Jamie had fallen off one of the swings. Jamie is 4?
I think so.
One of the swings.
3 or 4.
Wah! He cried.
Is Jamie the high kid?
One of the
I think
high
he was 3.
kids.
I ran to him and checked him over. No bumps, no skinned knees. Wah! Just the way it's written it's the only way I'm going to read it. Where does it hurt? I asked him. He pointed to his tummy, then let his hand drift to his knee, and finally up to his head. Everywhere? I suggested. He nodded miserably.
I actually like that. Yeah, I like that better.
Maybe
than what
we
I was
better
doing.
go, said Marianne, rounding up Claire and
You
Margot.
did do it right.
But there was no S noise in that
Yeah,
whole...
but she's okay. All right, fine.
Maybe we better go, said
Are you
Marianne.
happy now?
No,
Rounding up
okay.
Claire
I've
and
been put in
Margot.
my place.
I
Are you
know what I'm
are you
doing.
happy?
I
I'm
voiced
happy.
3 sock puppets. Okay, see you. Inside, I gave Jamie a cookie, and he and David Michael played with I was about to say the CGI Joes. The G.I. Joes, and then watched Sesame
David
Street
Michael
on
put his
TV.
VR helmet on.
Jamie's accident was long forgotten by the time his mother came home. Mrs. Newton paid me, and I ran to my house, leaving David Michael with Sam, and then ran across the street to Claudia Kishi's. Recently, I haven't felt quite as comfortable visiting Claudia as I used to. This year, she had
Boobs.
boobs.
This year she had to go and start growing up faster than us. She's wearing a bra.
Because of her titties!
And the
I
way...
just want you saying that clipped. I was trying to hit a button and then just have you say,
I wish
"Because of her titties."
everyone could see your physical reaction to that. She's wearing a bra, and the way she talks, you'd think boys had just been invented. She acts like all the guys in the 7th grade aren't the same goony boys they were last year.
What year did this come out?
Ooh, good question. This was 1986,
Oh,
the year
makes
that me
sense.
and Chris were born.
Shit,
So
really?
that's, as far as I'm concerned,
1986.
that's the year boys were invented.
All right. That's the year Chris was invented, the king of all boys.
Yep.
That's the year that Chris, king of boys.
I'm the king boy.
King boy.
My mommy calls me little king boy.
Jesus. Last year, the boys were saying, "Want some ABC gum?" and then handing us the gum out of their mouths, saying, "It's already been chewed, get it?" and laughing hysterically.
And Claudia put that shit right in her mouth.
Last year, the boys were giving us noogies on our arms. Wait, how do you give a noogie on an arm? I thought a noogie was head
Is
specific.
it just like an Indian
I thought it was head specific.
It is head specific. That's stupid. Did she mean
But
an
you just
Indian?
came over and rubbed my arm like that was a thing.
I know. I was joking. Did she mean an Indian bird?
I mean, this was 1986. If it was Indian bird, they would have written Indian bird.
That's true. Would they not write Indian bird anymore?
Maybe not.
Maybe they.
I would hope not.
I mean, depending on, I don't know. I don't think they. I still think they don't even care about going back and correcting that.
Yeah. I mean, if America is one thing, it's like we'll kind of address the racism against black people, but like as far as Native Americans goes,
Fair game.
they really don't care.
I
Asian
am
people.
certain that this was not Indian bird.
Well, yeah,
I think it was whatever the fucking arm noogie was, which I'm not aware of the concept, but whatever. And
Not
throwing
familiar with
spitballs
that
at us.
maneuver.
Last year, the boys were pulling our chairs out from under us when we stood up to answer questions. This year, if you listen to Claudia, the boys are heroes. Personally, I don't see any change. I rang the Kishi's bell. Claudia came to the door. She was wearing short, very baggy lavender plaid overalls, a white lacy blouse,
What?
a black fedora,
What?
and red high-top sneakers without
Is
socks.
she
So-
Blossom?
I was about
Hold
to
on.
say she's Blossom.
Blossom.
She's definitely Blossom, and this is just now ringing a bell. But I feel like I need to read this again to fully take it in.
Yeah, no.
She was wearing short, baggy, lavender plaid overalls, a white lacy blouse, a black fedora, and red high-top sneakers without socks.
What?
Her long black hair was carefully arranged in 4 braids.
Oh my god.
I felt
she
extremely
explains it
blah
all.
compared to her. I was so
Oh.
used to seeing Claudia in outfits like that I didn't bat an eye. What I did notice was that she was wearing makeup. There was
What?
blue stuff on her eyelids, gold stuff above her eyes, and magenta stuff on her cheeks.
Gross.
Claudia, I gasped, your face, you look like... I couldn't stop myself in time. You got made up for the circus. I mean, it's so colorful. And it's John's page, but he's making
Oh,
a
it's
drink.
my page. I'm making a drink. Wait.
Do you mean to keep going?
No.
Or wait for you.
Let's just fill the time.
I'm the king boy because I have a crown because my skull never developed.
What? That's horrifying.
I've been holding on to that.
I want to take a minute and talk about a lavender plaid overalls.
Sounds amazing. Also,
I
it was the 90s.
definitely wore a decent amount of plaid in the 90s.
Actually, 86.
But I don't... Oh, yeah, 86.
tracks.
Well, 86, we were from 0 to 4 years old.
Yep.
Definitely didn't wear overalls, probably. I
That's-
don't remember that time of my life.
There's pictures of my sister wearing like short overalls.
Yeah. I feel like I wore
They're usually
overalls, but
denim,
not that
though.
often.
They're usually
Purple
denim, and
plaid
usually it's, like,
probably
spray
was
painted
a
on it.
thing. So I have a question I was going to ask you guys.
Yes.
So, and maybe this is a before an episode or end of an episode kind of question, not right in the fucking middle, but I was just curious.
Uh-huh.
Did you guys ever have babysitters?
No, I
I
actually
had
did
siblings.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I had siblings,
So
but
I'm
also my
curious
mom
about
was
everyone's
stay-at-home
experience.
for most. I mean, like up until.
We should have done this first,
We
but it only
should've.
just occurred to me.
Well, let's do a postmortem at the end of the episode.
okay,
we'll
do a
All right.
postmortem. Okay,
Write it down.
but I'm gonna forget. Don't forget. You're on this page.
Write
Okay.
down postmortem.
Yeah.
Talk about babysitters we've had, and then when we have a guest for the next episode,
We can talk about their
We can
babysitter
talk about their
experience.
babysitters.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't stop myself in time. How are you doing your voice? It's like
like kind of like a little bit raspy, like,
Okay.
like, oh yeah, no, that sounds great.
okay. You got made up for the circus. I mean, it's so colorful. And then Claudia, we've got to
We don't
find
have one
we
yet.
don't have a voice for Claudia, but I mean she's artsy, so I'm gonna do this.
I don't want to tell you this because don't do it.
But she's Asian.
She's Asian.
No, I know.
But don't fucking do it.
I know. No. I know she's
Okay.
Asian, and I'm not gonna do it. And I know when we have Christina on, she will. I know she will.
That's very true.
But here's what I'm gonna do. Thanks a lot. That's what artsy kids sound like. It's like all mopey. No, honestly.
Oh, she's definitely like the Jane, like Jane from Daria.
Okay.
Thanks.
That's Claudia.
Okay, so monotone. Okay, so I'm just gonna do thanks a lot. No,
like, really
honestly,
cool and
Claude,
artsy.
you don't need makeup. You've got such a beautiful face. Nice try, said Claudia. Claudia's parents are originally from Japan. They came to the United States when they were very young. Claudia has silky jet black hair, dark eyes, and creamy skin without so much as a trace of a pimple.
They
She's-
haven't gone into this detail with any other character.
She's absolutely gorgeous. Some might say like a geisha. But she has this wild streak in her that makes her buy belts made of feathers and wear knee socks with palm trees on them.
Fuck. She also said Marianne had a wild streak. I'm beginning to think Kristy is the most repressed of them
Kristy
all.
might be lame. Makeup
She's
was...
not lame. Okay, my theory is that Kristy's definitely super gay.
Oh. Christy's like, why do you have so many colors?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Why aren't you just wearing jeans and
Something functional.
and something functional?
Why don't you have a dirt streak on your cheek?
Why are you attracted to boys?
I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, she's very into like sports
Women?
and shit. I
Yeah.
don't think it came up. And fucking women. You know, it's one of those signs that you can't ignore.
Oh boy.
One of those like everyone around them knows, but they don't. Or...
Makeup was something new, though. Are you going to wear that? I pointed to her face. To school tomorrow? If I can get away with it. I nodded. Claudia's parents are very conservative. They don't understand her taste in clothes at all. They're like, what's their fucking
Lane
name?
from Gilmore
They're like
Girls.
Lane's mother from Gilmore Girls.
They're
They're like
Korean though.
parents.
What's her name? Mrs. what?
Mrs. Kim.
Mrs. Kim! Like Mrs. Kim. They're pretty nice about the fedoras and stuff. Although they won't buy any of those things for her. That's why she has to babysit, to earn money for all of that weird fucking art stuff.
Oh, she's just making a union.
But I didn't know how the Kishis would react to Claudia's day glow face. I didn't know how our teachers would react either. I didn't know how I was currently reacting in my nether regions.
Sploosh.
My basement was flooded. You didn't turn the page, right?
I did not turn the
Okay.
page.
I said hello to Mimi, Claudia's grandmother, who was busy making dinner, and followed Claudia upstairs to her room. Where's Jamie? Or Janine, sorry. I asked. Claudia rolled her eyes. At the university, where else? Janine is Claudia's 15-year-old sister. She's only a sophomore in high school, but she's taking classes at Stony Brook University. This is because Janine is a real live genius. An average person has an IQ of 100. An above average person has an IQ of 120 to 140. A person with an IQ of 150 is considered a genius.
Yeah.
Janine's IQ.
Why do you look super
Is
shocked like you've
196.
any idea what your IQ is?
No, because just like there are so many numbers being thrown at me just then that I was like trying to follow.
I would have
And
loved to hear
I'm-
you read that.
I'm a
I
little.
have no idea what my IQ is.
I'm pretty drunk. Yeah.
Okay, you look like you were like either I'm a genius or I'm an idiot.
No,
like
I'm
you were coming to terms with it in
No,
that moment.
no, I'm hearing this for the first time at Babysitters Club, and I'm like, fuck you guys, I'm a genius.
Everyone in charge of my IQ was never allowed to tell me what it was, so I have no
Wait, what?
idea what my IQ is. Every time
Who
I
else
would
would
get
be in
tested,
charge of it?
Charge
Well,
of
like
your
if I
what?
took like an IQ test in school, because I got tested a lot in school because I never did my work, and every time like I'd take an IQ test, I'd ask them to tell me, and they'd be like, "I can't tell you." So it's probably like 5.
You might find. Well, it's
Well,
5
it's either 5
or like
1,000.
300. Yeah, 1,000. I can't tell you because you might destroy the world.
Well, that's just it. Like if there was any math questions, like I failed it hard.
Yeah.
So,
But did you
Who
fail
knows?
it because you didn't understand it, or did you fail it because you were bored?
I am not good at math at all.
But because of
I'm not either.
not understanding or
We
boredom?
don't. We
Not
don't need to
understanding.
figure out.
I mean, we could get into this later.
Sometimes she makes me want to barf. She almost always makes Claudia want to barf. Sometimes we barf together.
Who? Mimi?
Janine.
Sometimes we
Janine?
barf
Who's Janine?
on each other.
The
got
smart
confused.
ass older sister.
Oh, the genius.
She thinks she knows everything.
Well,
Parentheses.
she sounds like she does.
Actually, she does. Parentheses. She's forever correcting us. If I say, David Michael, you can't play outside today because it's raining, Janine will say, Kristy, you should say, David Michael, you may not play outside today. If you say he can't, it means he's physically unable to, and that's not true. What you mean is that he does not have permission to play out of
Ew,
doors.
Wait, who says this? Who
oh,
says this?
Fuck
Janine.
her. I
Janine-
hate her.
Janine is who? Claudia's sister?
Yeah.
The person that this whole page has
I
been
was
about.
ready to like her, but I fucking hate
No,
her.
no. That sounds like that's awful. That's awful. That's
Janine
awful.
sounds like a textbook. Her
Janine-
best
Yeah.
Sounds like a oh boy.
Her best friend is this 14-year-old math nerd who's going to graduate from high school in the spring.
You might have seen the movie about him called Real Genius.
I love that
Her
movie.
second best friend is her computer.
Oh, damn.
I'm sure it's because of Janine that. I'm sure it's because of
That movie's
Janine
amazing.
that Claudia concentrates on art and is a terrible student. Yeah, definitely Janine's fault.
Yeah, totally Janine's fault.
I was relieved to hear that Janine wasn't home. Claudia and
So
I
am I.
plopped down on her bed. Marianne will be here in a few minutes, I said. I have this really great idea I want to tell you both about. Do you do that with your teeth?
No.
Oh.
I just
I
wanted
thought-
it to look like
He was making
Ow.
He was making a show.
I was
You
trying to
could
make him
have
laugh.
fooled me and I would have thought it was impressive, but now the moment's gone. I have this really great idea I want to tell both of you about. Claudia's eyes lit up. What is it? A Babysitters Club, I announced. A Babysitters Club? She squealed. Yeah, I'll explain it all when. Just then, the doorbell rang. Claudia thundered down the stairs, yelling, I'll get it! She flung open the front door and hauled Marianne up to her room. I like clubs! She exclaimed. Tell us your idea!
Wait, who's saying this, Claudia?
Claudia, she's very excited.
Jesus.
Well, it all started last night, I began. I told them how Mom had to call nearly everyone in Stony Brook looking for a babysitter, and how long it had taken, and how bad David Michael had felt. So I thought we could sort of join together. We all babysit anyway. We can advertise ourselves and get more customers. We should meet a few times a week and tell our customers what those times are.
And demand decent wages.
Ow. Over here somewhere.
Oh, thank you. Who's talking? Kristy?
Kristy.
Then they can make one call and reach a whole bunch of us at once. And if, like, Mrs. Pike wants 2 sitters, she'll only have to make 1 call. I explained everything else I had thought of and wound up with, okay, here are 2 things to think about. 1, where should we hold our meetings? And 2, who else could we ask to join the club?
I forgot that back in the day, like everyone was just always worried about the phone bill. Like you're gonna rack up the phone bill.
Yeah.
Or like the phone won't be available when you need the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember phone problems?
I remember phone
I mean,
problems.
I think all we have now is phone problems.
Now I just ignore 99% of the calls that come to me.
Now I look at my phone and
I answer my phone
yeah,
once a week
yeah.
when my mom calls.
now when a actual detective calls me,
We're not getting into that.
I told a detective on the phone who called me to tell me that my identity was stolen. I said to him, "This is spam." I was on the phone with a detective, And I interrupted him. I said, "This is spam."
One time I got a call.
And he was like, "No, it's not. Look up the phone number."
One time I got a spam call and I said, "Is this a robot?" And they said, "No, it's not a robot." And I said, "Take my number off your call list." And I hung up on them anyway.
Every time my phone rings, I go, ew.
I was so paranoid about the actual real detective that called me that when he called me again, he said, "So I heard that you were calling around to make sure I was real." And I was like, "Yeah, you know how much you're in the
You live now.
Like,
you should know that
You
there's a lot of
live
spam.
now.
your specialization is identity theft.
We're calling to tell you.
You
that,
should understand why I'm
you
being
could be
wary
forgiven
of
for your
you."
student
Yeah.
loans that
Anyway.
you
If
don't
anything,
have.
he should have hired you on the spot.
I
And then we
gotta
could have
fucking-
like a great buddy sitcom.
Yeah, I got a call today that was like, "We'd like to talk about your car refinancing." And I was like, "Haha, Betty, I paid off my car." And I hung up on the robot.
Betty?
I don't know what her name was.
Okay.
Anyway, where was
I
I?
am a Scammy, the scam call robot.
That's our other podcast.
Write that down for a skit.
Scammy, the scam call robot.
Yes.
Chris, write it down. All right.
What?
So
You
what I,
confiscated our phone.
what I just said is, who else could we ask to join the club? I can answer both questions, said Claudia. We should hold the meetings here because I have a phone in my room. Oh, terrific! I exclaimed. I'd been hoping Claudia would suggest that. And I know someone who might want to join the club. Who? Marianne and I asked. She's new. She just moved to Stony Brook. She lives right over on Fawcett Avenue, and she's in my class.
Faucet?
Fawcett
Yeah,
Avenue.
it's right by Sink Lane.
But it's
Fawcett
spelled by
Avenue.
Sink Lane. Fuck you. Spelled Fawcett. Fawcett.
Yeah, Sink is spelled
S-Y-N-K? Yeah.
X.
PHX.
Sink Lane.
And she's in my class. Her name is Stacy McGill. Bum, bum, bum. Well, okay, I said slowly, with decorum. Of course we'll have to meet her. Oh, sure. You'll really like her. She's from New York City, and she has diabetes, Claudia added.
Did she say that?
No. I was impressed. I could tell that Marianne was, too. We were both impressed by the name and city that we had just heard from our friend.
Stacy and New York.
Stacy in New York. She opened her eyes wide. I wonder why her family wanted to leave there. Wait, which one? Marianne. I wonder why her family wanted to leave there to come here, she said.
Claudia shrugged. Don't know, but I'm glad they did. Stacy's really cool. Marianne and I glanced at each other, not sure that this was a good sign. What's everyone doing tomorrow afternoon? Asked Claudia. Can we meet then? It's at 5:30 again, said Marianne. I have to babysit before then. We agreed to meet late the next afternoon, and that was how the Babysitters Club officially began.
Oh! You just read that one, too.
Okay. Chapter 4. Promptly at 5:30 the next afternoon, I crossed the street to Claudia's house and rang the bell. Claudia answered it again, this time wearing a baggy yellow and black checked shirt, black pants, red jazz shoes. And
What
I
does-
don't know
What
those are.
fucking fucker jazz shoes?
And a bracelet that looked like it was made from a telephone cord.
She's so hip and with it.
Her earrings were dangling jointed skeletons that jumped around when they moved.
Awesome.
noticed.
Okay, I am Claudia.
I'm pretty sure I had earrings exactly like that.
I had a necklace like
I
that.
noticed she wasn't
You
wearing
are
any makeup.
Claudia.
I am Claudia.
Mom and Dad
I
wouldn't let
had
me.
that necklace.
She said, well, you got away with the skeletons. Claudia grinned.
Wait, hang on a second. Well, you got away with the skeletons. Should be the name of something. I have to write it down.
No, it's not going to make sense later. Don't write it down.
The whole
It
reason
could
that,
start
that-
something
No.
completely different. But,
the whole reason that that's good is because it doesn't make sense. Go on, Chris.
all right. Claudia grinned. I didn't put those on until I got to school, she whispered. Mimi's the only grown-up home now, and she doesn't mind if I wear skeletons.
You sound like Riff Raff right now.
Oh my god.
Time
Hello.
is fleeting.
Yeah. Y'all what?
Oh, very sneaky. Claudia knows every trick.
It's astounding.
God damn it.
As we went up the stairs, Claudia said, Stacy's already here. I really hope you like her. She lowered her voice. And Janine's home.
Oh my god. I groaned. Sorry, her door's open too. At that moment, Janine stuck her head out into the hall. Oh, hi, Kristy, she said. I thought I heard voices.
Ugh,
Claudia told
Janine.
me about the Babysitters Club. That sounds like an outstanding idea. Well, hopefully it
Fuck
will.
you, Janine.
I began. Janine's face took on her know-it-all look. Kristy, hopefully is one of the most commonly misused words in the English language.
Oh,
The word means in a hopeful manner. It is not acceptable to use it to mean it is to be hoped. I didn't have the vaguest idea what she was talking about. Gee, Janine, I gotta go. I cut her off as Claudia went to her
decorum
room.
meant yesterday.
Stacy's waiting for us. See ya. I really cannot take much of Janine. And I always make
Neither can we.
And I always make a mistake in front of her. I don't know how Claudia manages to live in the same house with her. Just as I reached Claudia's bedroom, the doorbell rang. That's Marianne, I called. I'll let her in, Claude. I ran downstairs, opened the door, warned Marianne about Janine, then ran back upstairs with Marianne at my heels. We ran straight to Claudia's room, careful not to look at Janine as we ran by her
God.
open door.
Do you think she's like sitting by her door like, I hope they say something I can
She's like,
correct them about.
Friends, I just want to speak to human beings.
I wonder if they'll run wrong.
I hope they don't figure out I'm a robot.
I see. Part of me feels like Janine is the girl in Real Genius that can't help herself. What's her name?
Oh,
She's awesome.
Jordan.
though.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan. I feel like she just can't help herself.
No, I just want to watch that movie.
I love that movie
It's a
so
great
much.
movie.
For those of you listening to, we'd like to take a moment to break from below grade level to plug Real Genius, the movie from 1985.
If
starring
you
Val
haven't
Kilmer.
seen it, which I hadn't until a couple years ago, it's a fucking treasure.
It is literally
It has a batshit third act.
it is one of the best comedies ever made ever. And
Ever.
that's not hyperbole. It's Val Kilmer
It's
at
what
the
Revenge
height
of the Nerds should have been.
at the height of like young cute Val Kilmer.
Oh, he's
and
flipping
William
gorgeous in
A-
that
He's
movie.
very cute.
William Atherton at the height of William Atherton
just
dick
being
villain.
evil.
Yeah.
He's
Like,
so evil.
It's like right after Ghostbusters, and he's still the piece of shit you remember him in as Ghostbusters. And just goddamn, Real Genius is a good movie. Okay, what were we just talking about? Claudia is Claudia riffraff now? Hi,
Yes.
Claudia said, closing the door behind us.
Oh, God.
You'll get through it. You'll get there.
I'm trying. Okay.
Does she have hair like him?
yes. It's like
It's just long and
it's
silky
black.
and black,
It's
but
black.
it's
That's why
totally
she
bald on
wears the
top.
She's bald on top. Yes.
A fedora on top
Yeah.
of that hair.
You know.
Does she have a hump?
I can't get through it. Oh shit.
Now I'm just thinking about Hank Venture dressed as him. Or was it Dean?
It was Dean. Hank was Columbia. You know, this is Stacy McGill.
All right, we can't do. If you can't get through it, it's so good.
I can't get through it because
It's so good, but if you can't get through it, then we have to fucking just stop.
I see you in the background, like
You're so
covering your
excited.
mouth.
I'm so excited.
Stacy.
No.
Oh, no, I can't
Just
do it.
stop,
I can't.
just
Okay,
stop.
I'm sorry. This is Kristy. Thomas. Wait, what? Oh, that's their last name. Okay.
No punctuation.
I'm so.
Added a period.
Okay,
What is
happening?
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna start this over.
Here's riffraff.
I'm gonna start this over.
Shock.
Hi.
Here's Rifflash.
Red Flash.
Rifflash. Hi. Claudia said, closing her door behind us. You guys, this is Stacy McGill. Stacy, this is Kristy Thomas, and this is Marianne Spear. And then this is Stacy. I don't know who Stacy is yet, though, so
Okay.
we'll come up with the voice later. Hi, Stacy and I said brightly. Marianne suddenly turned shy. Hi, she said softly, speaking more to the wall than to Stacy. I looked at Stacy. Stacy, I could see why she and Claudia were friends already.
I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Stacy! Stacy had on a pink sweatshirt with
For you,
sequins
Patrick, if you're listening.
and a large purple parrot on the front of her sweatshirt. Short, tight-fitting jeans with zippers up the outsides of the legs
Short
that were
jeans?
doing something to my heart, and pink plastic shoes. She was very pretty, tall, and quite thin with huge blue eyes, framed by dark lashes, and fluffy blonde hair, like a bunny that looked as if it had been styled recently. Like a bunny. I glanced at Marianne. She and I were still in our school clothes. I was wearing jeans and sneakers. Marianne was wearing a skirt and saddle shoes. Marianne's hair was, of course, in braids, like her father insisted.
That's
And I was wearing...
harrowing to think about.
And I was wearing a blue hairband. There was an uncomfortable silence while I noted all of this.
While I stared at every girl up and down.
Well, I cleared my throat.
I have to remember all your clothes so I can write this down later.
Claudia, did you tell Stacy about the Babysitters Club? Just what we talked about yesterday, she replied. Did you babysit in New York? I asked Stacy.
Oh,
Man,
all
I
the
We have
time.
lost control.
I know. How much do we have left? Because I
it
really
feels like too much.
I am holding on by a thread.
You're almost like unemployed, Jonathan.
Almost. I'm
Yeah.
almost there. We should do some sketches after this.
Oh,
Fuck
all the
yeah.
time. We lived in this big building. There were 200 apartments in it.
I like that voice.
All
Fancy
right.
New York. Okay.
It's what's her face from Sex and the City? Kim Cattrall.
Kim
I
Cattrall?
watched like one
Kinda.
episode of that. Maybe.
Kim Cattrall from Sex and the City?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cassandra? I don't remember. Miranda?
Stacey.
No, not Miranda,
I don't remember.
but I still don't know.
What, is there a Miranda and a Cassandra?
Wow.
I don't think there was a
Said
Cassandra,
Marianne.
but I also never watched it, so I couldn't fucking tell you.
And I used to put up signs in the laundry room. People called me all the time. Oh no, it's what's her face from 30 Rock.
Jenna.
Yeah. She paused. I can stay out until 10 on Friday
Tamara.
and Saturday nights. Another
Tamara.
wow from Marianne. I was feeling more
Wow.
and more like a baby.
Wow.
Whoa. How is
Thank
it
you.
possible to feel so much younger than someone who was the same age as you?
Oh,
Well, if they came from New York.
I'd really like to be in the club, said Stacy. I don't know too many kids in Stony Brook yet, and it'd be nice to earn some money. My mom and dad buy me clothes, but I have to earn money for other things, you know, CDs and jewelry and stuff.
Jewelry.
How come you left New York? Asked Marianne. See, why you gotta add like a bunch of non-S words after we figured out that voice? Marianne is a real thing for New York, for glamour and lights and stores. She wants to live in the city after she's grown up. Stacy looked at the floor. She started jiggling her right foot back and forth. Oh, she said lightly, my dad changed his job. Gosh, you have a lot of neat posters, Claudia. Obviously changing the subject. That's well written.
Claudia, do you like Tool?
Thanks. I made those two myself. There we go. Pages stuck together.
oh, jeez.
Some
What, did
theater
David
of the
Michael read
mind.
this book?
Ew.
Callback to the book.
Did you write down Claudia's Jenna?
Oh.
Claudia
No,
pointed-
Stacy's Jenna.
Yeah, that's it.
Claudia pointed to a picture of a horse galloping through a desert
Wait, is she
And-
Tina?
Deep.
and to another of a girl sitting on a window seat gazing outside. Boy, if I lived in New York, I wouldn't leave for anything, Marianne went on. Tell me what it's like to live there. What was your school like? Well, began Stacy, I went to a private school. Did you have to wear a uniform? Asked Claudia, shuddering. Nope, we could wear regular clothes. How did you get to school? Asked Marianne. On the subway. Wow. Unclear who said that of the 10 people in the room. Once, Stacy added, seeing how impressed Marianne was, I took the subway all the way from our apartment to Coney Island. I had to change about a zillion times. Wow, did you ever take a cab by yourself? Sure, lots of times. Wow. At Marianne's last wow, we all began giggling. Well, anyway, I said, to get back to the Babysitters Club, what I think we should do is make 2 lists. One of rules and one of things to do.
Oops. Just kidding.
What is the
Go
difference?
What? Sorry, I got distracted
Wait.
by a Lisa Loeb song.
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very sorry about that.
Well, Kristy said, to get back to the Babysitters Club, what I think we should do is make 2 lists. One of rules and one of things to do. What I was wondering is what the fucking difference of those things is. But maybe we'll find out.
One of rules and one of an agenda.
Mission
To
statement.
sit on kids.
One of rules and one of things to do. Jenna. How are you saying it?
Jenna?
Just say it. Just read the
Does
words.
this
It
mean,
doesn't matter.
Stacy interrupted me, that I'm in the club? I glanced at Marianne, who nodded her head. I already knew what Claudia thought. Yep, I said. Oh, hey, great, Stacy exclaimed, grinning. Claudia gave her the thumbs up sign. Then she pulled a package of peanut M&Ms from under her pillow.
Those are good M&Ms. Those are like
Oh, no.
in my top 2 of
Those are like
M&Ms.
peak M&Ms.
I think we're about to come up against a...
Oh,
I
a
think
real issue.
I think an issue's going to happen here.
What issue?
They
What?
kicked her out of New York because she was diabetic.
Pulled up a package of peanut M&Ms from under her pillow.
York.
We should celebrate. Kicked her out of New York.
I mean, I can only guess.
Giuliani was like, no diabetics.
I'm a terrible lawyer.
We should celebrate. We should celebrate. She said, handing the candy around. It kills Bekah. It kills her. Look at it. Look at her. Marianne and I were starved and each gobbled down the handful. But Stacy just glanced in the package and then passed it back to Claudia. These are... You've only got 5 left, she said. Oh, go
Maybe
ahead,
she's just Rain Man.
replied.
She can count to 5 that fast.
You've only got
amazing.
5 left. Definitely 5 left.
You never saw that
I
movie.
know, I've never even seen Rain Man. Oh, go ahead, replied Claudia. I've got lots of stuff stashed away. Mom and Dad don't know about it. Lots of stuff. She said she had bubble gum in her underwear drawer.
Ew.
A chocolate bar behind her encyclopedia. A package of Twinkies in her desk drawer. Some Quinto Green Lifesavers in her piggy
Claudia
bank.
has
So
an
wait,
eating
what?
disorder.
Right?
Some Quinto Green Lifesavers
She
in
have
her
a
piggy
room
bank.
covered in ants
And a vibrator.
made of sweet tarts.
Made of sweet tarts! No thanks, Stacy said. I'm, on a diet. You? I cried. You're skinny already! Stacy was the first person my age I knew who was on a diet.
Was she? Because when I was her age, I definitely was on a diet. Not to make it too real,
Uh-huh.
but when I was 12, I was definitely on a low-carb diet of eating pita sandwiches with, I couldn't eat fruit. I was 12 and I couldn't eat fruit because there was too much sugar. No,
What?
I could not eat fruit. So I had little pita sandwiches for lunch every day with lunch meat and cheese and shit.
Oh, boy.
And that low-carb Atkins stuff.
What?
Yeah, that was the first time I was on a diet at 12.
Oh boy.
That sucks.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I think that she's deflecting because of her diabetes.
Stacy is not on a diet.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's some shit.
Me and probably how many women are in America? I don't
Half.
know how many billion.
Half the people.
How many? But
It might be more than half.
I don't know the
remember.
number.
A lot.
51%, probably.
Okay, percentage wise,
I don't know.
I'm sure we're all on a diet between the ages of 12 and 16.
That's fucked up.
Just to bring it all back down.
We here at below grade level would just like to make a public service announcement. Don't put your daughters on diets.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Let your daughters eat what they want to eat.
Eat food.
And if your daughters want to go on a diet eventually,
Then's the time
They can
that
do
they
that.
can.
No one goes on a diet ever. No, that's stupid. Eat healthy food
No,
forever,
yeah.
no matter what.
that's yes.
That's it.
Yes. Sorry. That's what I meant.
It's okay.
I didn't mean like
It's okay.
a diet like Atkins.
Just be a fucking healthy, normal person.
Eat healthy
Don't
food.
stop your child from eating apples because apples have sugar and
Right.
you're brainwashing your 12-year-old to not.
Eat healthy
Eat
food and
carbs.
exercise, but also
This
if you have
next
a 12
slide really doesn't follow this
if you have a
conversation
12-year-old
at
if you have a
all.
12-year-old daughter, give them Oreos. They're delicious. Go on, Chris.
How much do you weigh? I demanded.
I demanded.
Kristy, Claudia
Never
exclaimed.
recover.
That's none of your business.
Chris,
But it's not safe to diet if you don't need to. My mom said, does your mother know you're dieting? Well, see, I'll bet she doesn't. At that moment, someone knocked on Claudia's door. Marianne, Janine called. Your father phoned on the other line. He says it's time for you to go home. I corrected him 8 times throughout the conversation. Marianne
8?
looked at her watch. 6:10, she cried. Oh no, I'm late. Dad hates it when I'm late. Thanks to Jean. I have to go, you guys. Wait, I said. We didn't finish making our plans. Let's meet tomorrow at recess, suggested Claudia. Really? I said. Recently, Claudia has been spending recess watching the cute boys play basketball. She never wants to play foursquare or tetherball with Marianne and me.
Aw.
Sure, she said. As soon as we're done with lunch, we'll meet outside by the gym door. Somebody remember to bring a pad of paper and a pen.
I bet Marianne will.
I will. I volunteered. Marianne stood up and then practically flew home. I better go too, said Stacy. Me too, I said. Claudia walked us to the door and we went our separate ways. The Friday lunch at Stony Brook Middle School was always the same. Sloppy Joes, red Jell-O with canned fruit in it, a dinky cup of coleslaw,
A dinky?
milk, and a fudgesicle. I truly hated, except for the fudgesicle. After Marianne and I had forced down as much as possible, we went outside to wait for Claudia and Stacy. We hadn't sat with them in the cafeteria because they were eating at a table full of the most sophisticated 7th grade girls, whom we hardly knew. Whom?
Whom?
This bitch throws in a whom.
This bitch doesn't know what
Whom?
decorum means.
She doesn't know the word decorum, but she knows whom.
Well, she is talking about the sophisticated 7th graders.
And some boys.
Oh my.
How they could
Starting to
eat
think
with
this
boys
chick's a liar.
was beyond
Still
me.
my heart.
The boys were always doing gross things like smushing up peas and ravioli in their milk cartons to see what colors they could make.
Ew.
Claudia seems to think those things are hilarious. So Marianne and I reached the gym door first. We played a fast game of tetherball while we waited. I won. I usually do. I'm good at sports.
Me and Chris are pretending like a thimble.
You're really good at it.
I don't know how it works.
Um,
It's a
I don't either.
ball on a tether.
I don't think it was a thing that existed when we were alive.
Nope.
Hi, you guys. Called Claudia. Wait, what? What did you say?
Tetherball didn't really exist when we were kids.
Yeah,
I never played
wasn't
tetherball.
Really a thing.
What?
Did you play
For us growing
tetherball?
up.
Yes.
Well, yeah, he was born in the 1900s.
Yeah, I'm 300 years old. I
I
played
had
tetherball.
His favorite
Heard
toy
of-
as a child was that little wooden wheel
Like
and
a stick and a hoop? Yeah, I never played with a tetherball.
You guys didn't have
And ball
tetherball?
and
No!
What are you talking about?
We had like
no.
slides.
You didn't
like
have a.
that was a toy.
You didn't have a
It was
pole.
a slide.
You didn't have a big fucking pole in a concrete slab with a rope and a ball, and
Nope.
you smacked it.
No.
What?
Never.
What?
Never.
What? I sound like Stacy. What? No, sorry, I sound like Kristy. What? That's crazy.
Never had a tetherball.
What?
It was public school. We couldn't afford balls
I don't
with
know
ropes.
if it's because you're old or it's because we're from public school, but neither of us ever had a tetherball.
Tetherball costs nothing.
I
You
would
need-
see it in cartoons and be like, what
Tetherball
even
is a
yeah,
tetherball is a
I know
fucking it's a pipe in
The
a
concept
cement.
of tetherball I only know
and
from
rope.
like general media, like Napoleon
Like
Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite.
That's why I know what tetherball is. I never
am
had a tetherball growing up.
shooken to my core.
Ew. What are you, like a young girl person?
Yes, I'm reading Babysitters
On
Club.
the internet?
So clearly, yes, I am.
Shooken?
Yeah, I am
No,
Kristy.
they just say shook.
I am
Or shooketh.
Shooketh.
No, please don't fucking do
I'm
that.
I'm shaken.
No, it doesn't matter.
What the fuck?
Let's just fucking move on.
This-
I feel like I read one page
This-
for every hour we are doing this.
Tetherball conversation has shaken me to my core. Fuck me. Okay. Hi, you guys. Call Claudia. About 10 minutes.
We are approaching hour and 41 minutes.
That's
There's
fine.
a ton of stuff at the beginning
Content.
before we actually started.
Content. Called Claudia about 10 minutes later. She and Stacy were walking across the playground. And I was like, this might be too little for us to read.
You
So,
dumbass.
well,
Funny,
no, I
right,
mean,
you
you know
thought
what? I'm
that.
glad. When I
Read
fucked up.
faster.
Hi, we answered. The four of us went to the quiet corner. The four of us went to the quiet corner of the school building and sat down on some empty parking crates.
Parking crates?
R.L. Stein?
No, that would be cartons. We sat down on some empty
True.
packing crates. But also still, what? Packing crates? Packing crates?
I don't know. I'm
Like,
not paying attention. Just keep
That's-
reading.
that's just-
Oh,
go
like
for it.
what do you call this?
Pallets?
Pallets, like pallets. That
Maybe.
must.
Yeah,
that
sure.
must. That must be it. Okay. I've got the paper and pen. I said, and something else. I pulled the list that I had made Tuesday night from my pocket. What is happening? I pulled the list that I had made Tuesday night from my pocket, and I pointed to section 2,
Section 2.
which was labeled advertising. This is what we have to do next. Let people know what we're doing. Right. Agreed Claudia from underneath an outrageous red felt hat, which her teacher wouldn't allow her to wear in the classroom. I think flyers are the easiest way to tell people about our club. We can make up a nice ad and my mom can copy it at her office. Then we can stick copies on people's mailboxes. We can do it in our neighborhood and on the other streets too. Anywhere that's in bike riding distance. Marianne, your dad would let you sit in another neighborhood if it weren't too far away, wouldn't he? I guess so, Marianne replied uncertainly. I saw Stacy glance curiously at Marianne. Good, I said. Now.
Jesus Christ. I feel like I read a page in like 4 seconds.
Yeah. Now we already have a name. What's the name?
The Babysitting Club.
The Babysitters Club. Do you think we should have some kind of symbol or sign too? You know, like the symbol that's on Girl Scout cookies, or the sun that's on the stationery my mom's company uses, that she'll get in trouble for using the copier.
I'm doing gang signs.
You're not doing
Yeah.
anything.
I'm
Said
doing
Stacy.
something.
That's a good idea. We could put it on top of our flyers. Claudia, you could draw something for us. I don't know, said Claudia. Come on, you're a great artist and so pretty. I explained. You could draw anything. I know I can draw, but I'm not good at
I know I can
symbols
draw.
and stuff. Janine's better at those
You're
things.
so good at it.
Oh, forget Janine, I said. Anyway, we're all going to think of the symbol. We're a club. We have to agree on things. But it's my fucking name. It's my fucking idea. Now, what could we use? Well, said Marianne, it could either be something that has to do with babysitters, like a child or a helping hand, or it could just be something we like. A rainbow, or a shooting star, or a frog.
What? Who gives a fuck
A
about
frog?
the logo? This never comes back up again.
frog?
I'm really good at these voices. A frog? I burst out.
I'm such a Kristy.
I began to giggle. So did Claudia and Stacy. Marianne looked embarrassed. Then she began to laugh too.
I can't decide if Kristy is Aries or Sagittarius, but
Mhm.
then also I can't really tell the difference between them in my mind. I don't know enough. I think.
I mean, fuck Aries,
I don't
right?
know enough. No, don't fuck Aries. I'm a fucking Aries rising, so fuck you. How about a warthog? Suggested Claudia. A nerd, said Stacy. Dog food. We were all laughing so hard we could barely talk.
So
Okay,
fucking
let's
funny.
be serious, I said when we had calmed down. Lunch is going to be over in 10 minutes. How about something with our names in it, suggested Stacy. Yeah, said Marianne and Claudia and I. All three of us at the same time. But then we couldn't think of anything. How about an alphabet block with our initials on it? That's cute, said Claudia. But there are 4 of us and you can't show more than 3 sides of a block at one time. Oh, yeah, said Marianne slowly. Claudia understands that kind of thing better than we do.
What?
Wait a minute,
Jesus
Claudia
Christ.
cried. I've got it. I could draw something like this. She took the pen and paper from me and then she drew this. And it's just the words, the Babysitters Club, but in block form, like alphabet blocks, like we've seen from the cover of the book.
cover of the book,
So
yeah, yeah.
it's not terribly shocking.
Although
They
they
said
changed, it.
Change
says
what?
B-
The old covers. Sorry, for those listening, we have a new version of Babysitters Club 1. That's like a new cover. But yeah, the old books that we have, some of the old books, the logo is the Babysitters Club in those blocks. But this is
In these blocks?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
colorful blocks?
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah. And this is
What
just some
doesn't
bullshit.
fucking matter?
script.
Like, it's just blocks.
I'm just saying, it's some
That's
bullshit.
terrific. Really terrific, I exclaimed. It's perfect, Claudia. I stopped. I'd almost said genius, but Claudia's pretty touchy about the word. A pro, I finished.
Oh, because her sister.
Yeah. Her bitch
Her
sister's a
bitch
genius.
sister.
The bell rang, then we had to go inside. But first we agreed to spend the weekend working on the Babysitters Club.
Oh shit.
We're getting there.
Chapter 5. Last chapter of this episode.
Yes, please.
So this is interesting. This is what I've noticed. What I remember from the last book that we read of the Babysitters Club, it was like every other chapter was like a diary entry.
Is that what this was?
I
I
mean, like
they all were because it's in the first person.
no. Like the whole book was in Dawn's first person perspective, right?
Yeah.
We read The Ghost of Dawn's House. The whole book is from her perspective, but
Yeah.
then like every like either other chapter, every couple chapters, there would be a chapter that was like in
Yeah.
script, and it would be like one of the babysitters talking
Yeah,
about something,
yeah.
and it was bullshit. Like it had nothing. It had nothing to do.
You
What?
just insulted Becca's
It's
child.
not bullshit, but I mean, okay, that hadn't occurred to me. That's not happening here.
It's interesting that it's not happening.
But
here.
that is something that happens in the books. It's not bullshit. Like, they all have their own specific handwriting. It's interesting because you're not just reading this book from Kristy's first person perspective.
Mhm.
You get to see her handwriting throughout, in theory. This book obviously does not seem to do that at all.
Well, it's also
But
the first
eventually
one.
they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually they do that. And that is kind of cool. Like, they do diary entries in between the regular chapters.
Yes. What I mean by bullshit is that I remember
You're bullshit.
It got damn. It got basically like it kept slowing the story down. Like I remember reading it, and this is
Mhm.
probably a fault of the fact that we were reading it on our old podcast where we read like 2 chapters at a time. So
Yeah.
it would take us like months to get through a single Babysitters Club book.
Yeah.
And it would just be like, oh, it's another fucking journal chapter.
Yeah.
Like we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, well, thinking back on it, I remember those chapters,
Mhm.
but I don't remember the books well enough to, like, this book obviously doesn't have them. I wonder when they start.
Yeah, I
happening.
also wonder when they start. All right. Chapter 5. On Saturday, the 4 members of the Babysitters Club worked very hard. Marianne and Claudia and I called all the families we already babysat for and told them about the club. Then we wrote up a little ad about the club and phoned in to the Stony Brook News. The Stony Brook News. It would appear on Wednesday. We couldn't wait to see it. Then Stacy had an idea. I think we should elect, officers of the club. We were sitting around in Claudia's room as usual. Officers? Claudia repeated, looking confused. Officers.
Saying like a cop thing.
She was probably thinking of policemen.
Ah.
That's what it says. Yeah, a president, a vice president, a secretary, and A treasurer, I supplied. Perfect. 4 officers. 4 of us. Oh, I get it, said Claudia. Well, I nominate Kristy for president. I can see Bekah laughing. The club was her idea.
Hold the book up in front of her face, and then you won't get distracted by her laughing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yes.
Yeah. I second it, said Marianne.
Me too, said Stacy. It's unanimous. I grinned. Wow, thanks you guys. Okay, I nominate Claudia for vice president since we're using her room and her phone and phone number. She's making a lot of calls to handle when the rest of us aren't here.
Since we're using everything.
Well, hold on. You
Sorry.
She's making a lot of calls to handle when the rest of us aren't here. That's very thoughtful. And
Good
she's
job,
also
Kristy.
in love with Claudia. I second it, said Marianne. Me too, chimed in Stacy. Unanimous again. Claudia beamed. Marianne
What are the
cleared her throat
chances?
and looked around nervously. Stacy, if you don't mind, I'd like to be secretary. I'm good at writing things down. That's perfect, said Stacy, because I'm good with money and numbers. I was hoping I could be treasurer. We didn't even bother to vote on Marianne and Stacy since everything was working out so well. In celebration of the new officers, Claudia took a bag of gummy bears out of her pencil case and passed it around. Yeah, it has an
She's
eating
a problem.
disorder. Before the bag even reached Stacy, she leaped up, clapped her hands over her mouth, and exclaimed, "Oh no, I have to go home, but I'll be right back." Stacy, I said, if you're still on that dumb diet, you could just say so.
Is one of these books called The Problem with Stacy?
Probably. You don't have to run away.
Probably.
Look, we'll put the gummy bears back. No, it's not that. I just forgot something. Only be a minute. Cece dashed out of Claudia's room. Marianne and Claudia and I looked at each other and shrugged. Stacy returned about 20 minutes later. Her hands were empty. Where is it? I asked her. Where's what? What you forgot? What Oh, no. I just forgot to do something. But it's all taken care of. I started to ask her another question, but Claudia flashed me a look that said I was being a pest. We worked on our flyer. Then, and when it was all finished, this is what it looked like. Hard to translate, but it says, The Babysitters Club. Need a babysitter? Save time. Call The Babysitters Club. 555-3231.
Fake number.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5:30 to 6:30. And reach 4 experienced
5:30 to
babysitters.
6:30?
Christy Thomas,
Terrible hour.
President. Claudia Kishi, Vice President. Marianne Spear, Secretary. Stacey McGill, Treasurer. Available weekends, after school, and evenings.
I'll give the flyer to my mom, I said. She can make copies of it on Monday and we can pass around the flyers next week. I've got to go home anyway. It's almost dinner time and Mom's going out with Watson tonight.
Watson!
I made a face.
I still can't believe we don't know if that's his first name and last name.
Who's Watson? Asked Stacy. Her boyfriend,
Does he have piercings?
I replied.
If my mom dated someone named Watson, I'd be so fucking
You'd be
excited.
like, will you be my dad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please be my dad, Watson.
Her boyfriend, I replied. My parents are divorced. Oh, said Stacy, looking slightly uncomfortable. Are your parents divorced too? I asked. I realized how little I knew about her. Nope, they've been married for 15 years.
15.
Mine have been married for 20 years, said Claudia. Oh boy. My mother died when I was a baby, said Marianne.
My father's never forgiven me for it.
What? said Marianne quietly. She had cancer. Again, Stacy looked embarrassed. Understandably.
It's all right. Really, I don't remember her, but sometimes I wish I did.
I stood up.
Well, I better go. See you guys tomorrow.
I called as I started down the Kishi stairs, abandoning that fucking powder keg of a conversation. Jesus Christ. Oh boy. Watson arrived at 6:30. David Michael ran to meet him.
Forgot
He-
about that fucking asshole.
David Michael loves Watson. Why haven't I been saying Watson?
I don't know.
Watson.
Are we almost
Excuse me?
done?
We are very almost done.
That's because he doesn't remember Dad, so he thinks Watson.
Doesn't say that?
Yeah.
Shit!
That's because he doesn't remember Dad, so he thinks Watson is better than no father at all.
Oh my god!
Not ad-libbing.
Oh no! Oh no!
I stayed in my room until Mom yelled up to me, "Kristy, Watson's here." Why does she always make me come down to see Watson? She knows how I feel about him. "Coming," I said, trying to sound put out, as if she had interrupted something important. But I'm a kid. I'm not doing anything important. When I came downstairs, Watson was standing in the kitchen with cartons of Chinese food. Surprise! What? I asked suspiciously. "Isn't this nice, Kristy?" Mom said brightly. "Watson brought over Chinese food so we can all eat together before he and I go out." Watson's always bringing over food. You'd think he owned a restaurant.
That sounds awesome.
Ooh, I hope he does.
"Who's taking care of your kids?" I asked pointedly.
Jesus.
I thought it was really stinky that on the weekend his kids came to stay. Watson not only had to go to work, but left the kids with a babysitter while he went out with my mother.
What?
"I found a very
Fucking
nice
hypocrite.
babysitter," Watson replied pleasantly. "She took care of Andrew and Karen this morning while I went to the office, and they liked her very much."
Maybe it's Dawn.
Ooh, I was wondering when Dawn showed up. Probably not the first book.
Oh, I said. Watson set the white cartons on the table and began opening them while Sam and I got out plates, napkins, and
I'm sorry, the
silverware.
white what?
Cartons!
Oh, cartons! Oh,
Cartons!
shit! Our nemesis!
Cartons!
Our nemesis.
I
Or else
made,
die.
I made a face at Sam to show him what I thought about the dinner, but
That
Sam said,
bitch.
"Thanks, Watson. This is really great." Sam and Charlie sort of like Watson, too. Once, Sam even babysat for Watson's kids. I, for one, will never, ever babysit for them. I bet they're brats.
Those pieces
Little
of
limey
shit.
bastards.
Shit, kids!
Those shitty kids.
Yeah, said Charlie. I'm taking Carol out for hamburgers tonight, but I don't mind eating first. Charlie has a stomach like a trash compactor. Mom, I asked, is there any of that leftover chili? Mom glared at me. She didn't answer my question. What's wrong, Kristy? Said Watson. I thought you liked Chinese food. I'm drunk. I'm sorry. Foot.
Yes.
I said foot. It's because I'm drunk. It's okay, I guess.
It's just the way Watson says food.
But I don't feel like it tonight.
Liked foot.
Watson looked slightly hurt. When the table was set, we sat down and everyone began helping themselves to mushu, pork, and chicken with cashews, and beef with snow peas and other things Watson had brought. I was starving, and I love Chinese food, especially chicken with cashews, but I wouldn't let Watson know.
I hate Watson! I want him to die!
She should revolt against them.
Since there was no chili, I made myself a peanut butter and strawberry jam sandwich. I slammed it
Gross.
onto my plate, and then I began nibbling it into the shape of a snowman.
What? Really?
Yeah, I didn't add any of that. I was just about to bite off the snowman's head when Watson said,
Serial
"Are you
killer
okay?" So, how are things, Kristy? Is that right? About it?
I'll follow you.
What were you doing? What were you doing?
It was kind of like a British Gregory Peck.
Okay. So, how are things, Kristy? Fine. School okay? Yep. What are you doing this new or interesting? Nothing. Hey, Watson, the math club won its third math meet yesterday, Sam said, coming to the rescue. He hates when I bug Watson. Watson needed a second to collect himself. He doesn't understand me. What, Sam? Oh, your third meet? That's great. And guess what? Exclaimed David Michael. Mom's going to get me a new G.I. Joe. One of the good guys. Duke. Or Radiohead.
What?
It's a run-on joke.
Oh.
It's a callback.
I don't get it.
I think you're in the bathroom.
That sounds pretty exciting, said Watson. I don't know much about G.I. Joe dolls, though. I don't think Andrew plays with them. Sorry, I'm just doing that voice now.
That's okay.
Oh, he probably does, I said airily. And you just don't know it because you're not around. Enough. All right.
All the boys play with them. I glanced at Mom. I could practically see smoke coming from her ears as she let me know that I was getting into trouble.
Uh-oh.
But I went on anyway. Besides, they're action toys, not dolls. Right, David Michael? David Michael Beam.
If you have
Right,
to use
Kristy.
David Michael as your point, you've already lost.
Right?
Right, Kristy. And Karen probably has a My Little Pony doll. Ever heard of those? At that moment, Mom slammed her fork onto her plate. She stood up so fast she almost tipped her chair over.
Shit, oh no.
Kristy! Apologize to Watson this instant and then go to your room.
Watson.
I said politely, I haven't finished this delicious dinner yet. Kristen Amanda Thomas! You're
Wait, what was
asking
it?
for it, young
Amanda?
lady.
Is it Amanda?
Yes.
Kristy Amanda Thomas. Oh shit, she got all three names.
I got to my
it's
feet.
bad.
Fuck.
I'm
Kristy.
sorry, Watson. I mumbled. I walked out of the kitchen and started up the stairs. When I was halfway up, I yelled over my shoulder, I'm sorry you're such a terrible father! Then I ran to my room and slammed the door. See, the thing is, Watson is actually a very good father.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
What a roller coaster.
Wow!
Karen and Andrew and their mother live right here in Stony Brook, and Watson has the kids at his house each time he's supposed to. Plus, he celebrates every other holiday with them and never forgets the ones in between.
Wow!
Oh my God.
Kristy!
My dad forgets holidays all the time.
Oh,
but I
she's-
still don't like Watson horning in on our family.
She's projecting.
He doesn't belong with us.
Horny.
And he's very horny. Mom and Watson left without saying goodbye to me. I felt really guilty about what I'd done. Before I went to sleep, I left a note on Mom's bed. It said, Dear Mom, I'm sorry I was so rude. I guess I haven't learned much about decorum yet.
Oh my god!
I hope you had fun on your date. I love you, Kristy. I'm gonna cry. When I woke up the next morning, I found a note from me from Mom. It said, Dear Kristy, I love you too, Mom. It's so cute.
Bum, bum,
Alright.
bum, bum, bum. Wow!
Yeah,
Wow!
intense.
Wow!
It ended kind of heartwarming, so it should be like bum 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 bum.
I still like doing our
Yeah.
thing.
I
That
don't know
was-
how it's different because I'm bad at music.
Here's the thing. I put these markers in here just based on size of the book.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, a third of the
You
book
did
is...
not account for how much we would bullshit in between.
Well, no. What I'm
Maybe.
saying is I don't care about how much we bullshitted. What I'm saying is that was a remarkable good cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like that
That's
was
true.
that was
That was very much like the end of an episode.
that was
Yeah.
quite an
Well,
arc
but so
that Kristy took.
I had thoughts I wanted to address, but then I feel like it's been too long and
What were your thoughts?
well, I wanted to mention like our babysitting experiences.
Oh yes.
Like, did we ever have babysitters? Did we ever babysit? I'm
I
just
think-
curious about that.
I think that would be a really good thing to start our next episode with when we
Yes.
when we do
Mhm.
part 2
Yeah.
of the Babysitters Club 1.
We can open up. with
Christy's
it.
ready.
Yeah.
We'll open up with that and we'll
Okay.
fingers crossed we'll have a guest next time.
Yeah.
But we might not. It might just be the three of us again. Who knows?
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay because we have a very good time together.
OG crew.
OG Crow, babysitters for life. Well, this
hope
was.
not.
I know, right? That's depressing.
I babysat once in my life, and I guess we'll tell that story next time.
I'm gonna.
Okay, so stories about our babysitters and stories when we babysat.
Yes, that's what I want to get
I got a
into.
ton of those.
Shit.
Did you
I'm-
ever babysit?
No.
All right.
Good.
Did you?
I
Yeah,
was
a
the
bunch of
youngest.
times.
I was the youngest. I was the youngest. Okay. Well, it's been pretty long. So that's
it
probably,
has
that's
been.
going to be enough for this episode of Below Grade Level. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to plug.
Rapid outro?
Say what?
Rapid outro?
Rapid outro.
Rapid outro.
Okay, go for
All
it.
right, if you like Below Grade Level and more, please check out CD Read, starring Bekah Eaton and Kelly Fuller, also on the Cactus Radio Podcast Network.
That's true.
Also check out The Sketchy Show, hosted by Sketchy, the sketch comedy robot. And then check out Movie Club, all available on iTunes and where you get your podcasts
Stitcher.
mostly. Stitcher.
Yes.
On Stitcher. Tune in next time for the continuing of the Babysitters Club, Kristy's Great Idea.
I'm looking into Spotify. That might come soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.